that goes. And if that object is where it goes, then you're good. You don't have to do anything. But if that object isn't where it goes, then you put it where it goes. And you beat the game once everything that's going to or needed to go goes where it goes. So while you're grabbing trash bags and flattening out boxes, let me explain why I found cleaning to be so important in my adult life. I really have to thank my parents for distilling, I wouldn't call it a love for cleaning, but rather a tolerance for it. Growing up, my parents would print out physical job charts for the week, and every day us kids did all of our chores, we would earn $1. However, any single chore we didn't do, we would lose $1. Meaning, it was possible for us to come out of a week of doing chores in the red. My parents were earning money and teaching us about capitalism because my bed wasn't made. Still owe them $35. We were able to earn some money back doing Saturday chores. This is when we did a deeper clean like vacuuming or mopping. But Saturday chores didn't even hold a candle to the absolute worst chores we had to do, which were the dreaded company is coming over chores. For some reason, whenever company was on their merry way, it was vital that rooms said company would never even enter in the first place were spotless. This one time, I think my mom was hosting like book club or something, I finished mopping my bathroom, which was not a bathroom that anyone in book club would be using, by the way, and my mom did her usual room cleanliness inspection and said, "I think you should wipe that bucket down too." She was making us clean the cleaning instruments. Do you want me to vacuum the vacuum next? However, if it wasn't for all those chores my parents forced me to do, I feel like cleaning would have become something I dreaded doing, instead of something I can actually wind down the day with. I look forward to folding laundry and putting something on the TV because I feel like I did something productive while watching cartoons. And since I don't live with mom anymore, I don't have to clean my bucket, which now doubles as a toilet. Cleaning has become such an integral part of my life that cleaning other people's spaces is how I show my affection. I'm about to put one of my best friends on complete blast here, but I think he'll be okay with it because he constantly asks me to put him in videos. I'm doing a video that's a puppet show with 2 bricks.
Can I voice one of the bricks?
Okay. I recently visited one of my close friends' infamous swoosh at his place in upstate New York. He's 24, living on his own for the first time with 3 other dudes, and the second I stepped into his house, I went, oh, this is a guy's house. I don't think a woman's been in here in like, ever. What really sealed it for me was the bathroom not having a trash can, but rather a loose trash bag leaning up against a wall. And it was full. I hadn't planned for this to be on the itinerary of my New York trip, but after seeing how dire Swoosh's living conditions were, I decided to take him to his local Target to get him some necessary supplies. I originally set out to get him 3 things: a trash can, trash bags, and a handheld vacuum. But as we were walking through Target, we passed the broom aisle, and I asked, "You have a broom, right?" And his shoulders started to slowly rise into a shrug, and I went, "Dude!" Then we passed the Brita filter aisle, and I said, "You have one of these, right? You haven't just been drinking tap water this whole time, right?"
I mean, the sink's right there.
You're sure you don't need help?
I'm sure everything will go horribly wrong.
We'll be fine. We got a Clone Wars veteran with us.
Ready, Captain?
Yes, sir. General. Caden. There was a battle here during the Clone War. This old transport's the perfect place to find weapons, ammo, maybe even some proton bombs.
Hey, was this a separatist battle droid?
Oh yeah. A piece of one anyway. This place used to be crawling with them. We called them clankers.
Clankers? I like that. How many of these things do you think you blasted?
I don't know. Thousands. Probably tens of thousands. Never kept count like some of the boys.
They don't look very dangerous.
Listen, those droids wiped out a lot of Republic troopers. Many of them were my friends.
Rex has been through a lot. Battles leave scars. Some you can't see.
Hold up. Let me recon first. Well, look at that. We hit pay dirt. The munitions depot's fully loaded. More proton bombs in there than we can carry.
Good job, Rex.
Way to go, Captain.
Careful, kid. The droids used to protect their armies with ray shields.
What's a ray shield?
This is a ray shield.
Look! Aren't those battle droids? I thought they were all shut down.
Well, these weren't.
You have been captured by the Separatist Alliance.
Separatists?
Prepare to blast the Republic invaders.
Republic invaders?
Delay that order. Roger, roger.
Wait, who's Roger?
We have new orders. Incapacitate and capture. Activating stunner.
No!
Take them to the command center. We haven't captured anyone in years. We haven't captured anyone ever.
Where are we?
How intriguing. Well done, B-1268.
Roger, roger.
It's not over.
Rex. Rex!
Cody!
You know, Swoosh, normally when people move into a new place, they do a big Target run to get all the necessary cleaning supplies for their house.
What do you mean? I did do a Target run. Didn't you see that buffalo painting in my office?
Up until this point, Swoosh had been drying all of his dishes with paper towels, which I guess is good because I just assumed he was eating everything in his bare hands like a Neanderthal, so I think I'm saving him money in the long run. I'm really about to show my age here, but since I'm doing a whole video about cleaning, I just need to gush real quick about my favorite piece of cleaning equipment. This was one of the original 3 items I set out to get Swoosh before I knew how dire his situation was. This is completely unsponsored, by the way, but the Bissell Pet Hair Eraser Hand Vacuum has divided my life into 2 moments. The time spent before I had this vacuum, and the time spent after. I love this vacuum so much that I've gifted it to friends on 3 separate occasions. Now, this next piece of advice I used to roll my eyes at, but after I started doing it, I've really been enjoying it. And that is to make your bed first thing in the morning. I used to think, why do I need to make my bed? I'm just gonna get it messy again. But making your bed is having the first thing you do in the morning be something that benefits your future self. It helps set the tone for the day. And if you are able to complete that small task, then you're probably more likely to complete other more important tasks. No, making my bed didn't magically fix all my problems, but no matter what kind of day I was having, it was always nice ending it in a clean bed. Obviously, there's more to life than cleaning. I would know, I own all the Warrior Cat books, but I think everyone should enjoy the space they live in. I feel like a lot of us fall into a bad habit of dreading to do a task longer than it would take for us to just do said task. I definitely can be like that sometimes, but if you've been following along and been cleaning while this video played in the background, while your room might not be completely spotless, I hope you can see how much of a difference you made in only 10 minutes. Now imagine how much you can do in 20 minutes. Isn't cleaning while watching YouTube videos so fun? Isn't doing tasks so accomplishing? So if you need to clean, go clean! Go clean your bedroom! Go clean your kitchen! Unclog that toilet! The world is your oyster! Get out there and clean!
I have one question. Who made the Minions? Let's start at the beginning. Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus is an 1818 sci-fi horror novel written by the author Mary Shelley. Originally published anonymously in 3 volumes, the story quickly grew in popularity, and by 1831, Mary Shelley
Mr. James, on Saturday morning at 10:03 a.m., you were observed coloring a picture of a dinosaur. Is that true?
Yeah? Can we go to recess?
Even though your mom had repeatedly asked you to clean up your toys, you disobeyed her and colored anyway?
I plead the fifth.
Your Honor, I have no further questions. James, I hereby sentence you to 15 minutes in the timeout corner.
I'm not going back to timeout!
I'm no scientist, but I think moms play a very important role in society. Without moms, who would drive us to soccer practice? Who else would tell us that it's not okay to eat cupcakes for breakfast? And who else would point at construction workers and say, that's why you need to get a college education, James? Oh, and I guess they also give birth to you and take care of you, but like, anyone could do that. Now, before I talk about how I was raised, I just want to give out this disclaimer that my mom is a great mom. She loves me, at least she used to. If you asked me when I was 15 if my mom was a good mom, 15-year-old me would have said, no. Okay, but like, when I was little, I'd be talking with my friends, and we would be talking about our parents, and they would say stuff like, yeah, my mom lets me stay up till midnight, and she lets me play really graphic and vulgar video games. Yeah, my mom doesn't care if I wear clothes with skulls on them, and she lets me eat an entire tub of ice cream for dinner. My mom lets me play with knives. And I used to think that their moms were so much cooler for letting my friends have that much fun. But now, as an adult, I realize the sad truth, that these kids' moms weren't cooler, they just cared about them less. I'm not saying every mom out there is perfect, but a mom who takes the time to make a responsible member of society is pretty high up on the good mom list. Anyways, I love you, Mom, and now I'll immortalize and monetize some of that love. When I was younger and still in need of adult supervision, my mom would take me and my twin sister out to run errands with her. And as you would expect, we were rowdy and wanted to do our own thing. But my mom was prepared for this. She would bring 2 plastic baggies filled with 10 M&Ms, and every time my sister or I misbehaved, she would eat an M&M right in front of us. And she made sure we saw her eat our M&Ms. She didn't give us a warning either. If we did anything remotely bad, she would say, hey, look at me. And I think that parenting technique is the psychological reason that M&Ms are my favorite candy bar. I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. Something me and my sister really liked doing was hiding in those circular racks of clothes that they have set up in department stores. Being in the middle of one of those racks is such a surreal experience. I totally recommend it. But my mom didn't like it when we had fun, so she had to reach her arm in and try and grab us. Do you need any help? Oh, no, I'm just trying to get something in the back. There's a really nice belt that would be great for spanking my misbehaving children! I was spanked as a kid. Nothing too bad. I probably deserved it anyway. I don't remember any specific actions I did that earned a spanking, but I do remember outrunning my mom a lot. Another thing my mom did when I was very little was sometimes when she was washing her hands, she would turn to me and go, achoo, and flick water in my face. It really bothered me, but I never spoke out about it. And one day I just couldn't handle it anymore and I started crying. Why are you crying? But I was too sad to articulate how I was really feeling. If you ask her about this today, she'll say that she doesn't remember doing that sneeze gag ever, but I remember it vividly. So to get back at her, I put a rubber band around the dish sprayer so when you turn on the sink, it would spray water at you. Come to think of it, I do remember one reason I was spanked. Every time one of my siblings insulted another sibling or told them to shut up, we would have to pay them 50 cents. This resulted in a really weird dynamic when it came to insults. We would get excited when someone called us a name. Mom, Luke called me a butthole! That's 50 cents. Woo! I'm rich!
But sometimes us kids would just be messing around with each other and we didn't really mean the insults.
So we would feel bad taking someone else's 50 cents. Like someone would say, hey James, what's 6 plus 6? And I would say, 9, idiot. And my mom would hear me and say, James, that's 50 cents. And my sister would feel bad, so she would insult me back and say, James, you're an unpleasant person. Aw. Swear words cost you $5. That's why I don't swear in videos. But now I can afford it. So, you, Mom. You piece of My mom never washed her mouths out with soap. She wasn't that kind of person, but she did threaten to if we swore. And one time after I said a pretty naughty word, penis, she said, if you don't behave, I'm going to get the soap. And I said, I don't care, soap tastes good. All right, you big dingus, shove this in your mouth. You won't do it, no balls. So I bit into it and immediately regretted it. Now people are eating soap for views. So so I guess we never grow up. Did anyone else's parents put a password on the family computer? Because my parents did, and I didn't know we were the only family that did that. We had a rule in the house that we were only allowed to be on the family computer for however long we read a book for. But luckily, I would just read a book for 15 minutes, get my mom to type in the password, and then she would just forget that I was on the computer and let me stay on for hours. And I played a lot of Neopets and RuneScape. Also, I wasn't allowed to have a TV or a computer in my room because then I would have easy access to inappropriate animes. When I was little, cell phones were a thing, but my mom didn't let me have one, so I had to talk to all my friends over a landline. I hope I don't have to explain what that is, because that would make me feel really old, and I'm supposed to be in the prime of my life. But basically it meant if I was upstairs in my room talking to a friend, my mom could grab a phone downstairs in the kitchen and just join in our conversation completely uninvited. It didn't matter who I was talking to, I'd be having a conversation like this. I think the reason I internalize and hide away all my problems is because of how invasive my mom is in my personal life.
James, get off the phone and do the dishes.
Mom, I'm on the phone!
Wow, I can't believe you said that to the person who gave birth to you. So what are you two losers talking about?
Luckily, I would almost never be talking to a girl. So at least that didn't happen.
This other time, my mom was giving me and my sister a ride to school, and on the radio, she was listening to the worst subgenre of rock music, Christian rock. Just kidding, you can like whatever you want.
Fall sports are kicking off, and Dick's has the gear to perform your best. With top brands like Nike, Jordan, and Adidas. From football to volleyball and soccer, find the fit to up your game. Plus, choose from over 300 styles in our house of cleats. Every season starts at Dick's.
Anyway, we were pulling up to the school, and I told my mom to turn the music down.
What? Why?
Because I don't want people to think I listen to this, Mom. You see, I was in junior high, so I cared a lot about what other people cared about. So she turned the music down, but as we stepped out of the car, she turned the volume all the way back up and blasted the music for everyone to hear.
Looking back at the situation, I think that's pretty hilarious. GG, Mom. These aren't all the times my mom embarrassed me, but those are all the ones I'm going to include in this video.
I didn't even mention the time when I was 4 when my twin sister wanted to do ballet lessons, but she didn't want to do them alone, so my mom signed me up for lessons too. But that's a story for another video.
Love you, Mom. You made me like this.
One time, me and a group of buddies were driving through Texas, and we passed a building that looked like the Whataburger corporate office. Just to be sure, I checked my phone and discovered, yeah, we did just drive past the Whataburger corporate office. But what I found interesting was that the building had hundreds of one-star reviews. After some investigation, I found that these reviews weren't coming from the Whataburger corporate staff. No, these reviews were from once loyal customers who in one way or another had a negative experience at a Whataburger and were going to take this issue to the top. Reading people's wordy laments about their terrible fast food experiences has become a hobby of mine. And it's not just Whataburger. Every fast food corporate office has hundreds of one-star reviews. These people have been wronged by a billion-dollar company, and the only way they can get back at them is calling them stupid. The team at blah 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 have no intelligence whatsoever. I ordered 3 large lemonades, and all 3 spilled in the inside of my car because the cup holder was way too flimsy. I told the manager named Josh, and all he said he could do was say he's sorry. Sorry isn't going to clean up the mess caused by their stupidity! This guy spilled 3 lemonades all over his car, and instead of going, I'm so stupid, he went, Josh is stupid! This just goes to show that you could do your job perfectly and still have angry customers. Also, what did you expect Josh to do? Hey, I just spilled all that lemonade you gave me in that cup holder! Oh my goodness, how could I be so stupid? I forgot to turn off spill mode! Bring your car out back and I'll get a straw and then I'll suck it dry. No need to thank me. That's what fast food employees are for. I can't talk about fast food without bringing up a small local sandwich shop in my area. So here are some of my favorite one-star Subway reviews. We went to the location in blah blah blah. We had 30 minutes to close. I know, sucks, but there was a huge regional wrestling match and there were some starving boys. I walked in and let them know we had 20 sandwiches to order. We didn't have crazy expectations. Substituting meat, forget tomatoes if you're out. We don't need toasted, let's just feed these boys. 9 sandwiches in, the sweetest girl who was making our food said her manager said, "Shut it down," and they're not making the rest of the order. The manager had the employee in tears, and 9 boys didn't get food. I was mind blown. We offered big tips, gave free oil changes to employees working hard to make money. I run a mechanic shop and stay late for customer a lot. We didn't have crazy expectations. We just wanted a whole catering order 30 minutes before close. I know some people are going to be thinking, you're a business that's still open, so you have to do what the customer says. But I want those same people to ask their mother to make them 20 sandwiches at 9:30 p.m. and let me know what she says. And if those 9 boys were still upset, they should have just suplexed the manager into a table and then made the cold cut combo themselves. I placed an order online for 2 footlongs. I walked in to pick up my order, and I was thankful I didn't leave a tip. I received 1 footlong, but ordered 2. It's very clear on the receipt that was attached to the package. I showed it to the woman working behind the counter, and she laughed and said, "Oh, I didn't see that. Let me get that for you." Not sure why she missed that. Has never happened to me before. Is she on something, or does she not know how to read English? I had to stand there and wait for her to make the other footlong, and then this person continues to write a whole 500-word manifesto. Are they on drugs? Can they read English? Jeez. Do you think this reviewer is going to tell their grandkids about this story? And then I had to stand next to the sneeze guard for 2 minutes. Okay, Grandma, can we go? And they forgot the mayo! There are a whole bunch of lengthy reviews just like this, and for these types of reviews, I start thinking about these people psychologically. I feel like these people either have something else going on or nothing else going on. I'm sorry that your lunch was ruined, but if this is the biggest problem in your life, you're doing all right. And maybe this wouldn't have happened if you left a tip. I went to the location at blah blah blah. The guy Frank there needs to take some customer service classes. He is not friendly, and when I told him he should be more friendly to his customers, he told me to go ahead and call whoever I wanted to complain. Frank, I love you. You don't need to take customer service classes. You need to be teaching them. IDK, who was working at around 9:45 on May 17th, but somebody needs to give them a hug. I pull up to the window to pay, and there was 3 girls standing there doing nothing. One of them mumbled my total and stuck out her hand. I gave her my card, and she did her thing. Then she handed me a crumpled mess of a bag and 2 drinks with 0 ice. No "have a nice night," no "thanks for stopping in," not even a hello.
Scientist and sorcerer, arch foe to the Fantastic Four, and one of the most powerful people on the planet, he bows to no one. Let's get to know Dr. Doom. Born in the European country Latveria, Victor Von Doom fled his homeland as a young man, seeking to further his study of science. It was in college that Doom met another gifted student named Reed Richards. The 2 geniuses were not exactly best friends. Victor shrugged off Reed's warnings before a risky experiment and was caught in a major explosion that left his face badly scarred. Victor blamed Reed for the accident and his suffering, nursing a resentment that would soon grow into hatred. Victor swore to show the world he was superior to Reed, to everybody. Retreating to Latveria, Doom continued his studies in secret, learning how to blend his knowledge of science with magic. That quest culminated in the construction of Doom's iconic suit of power armor. High-tech, super strong, and enhanced with magic. Victor emerged from hiding to reveal himself as Dr. Doom. His goal was no less than to rule the world, and he started by quickly taking control of his own country. As Doom gained power, his victories helped fuel his anger and mad plans. So imagine Doom's fury when he confronted the Fantastic Four in battle, only to discover their leader, the elastic Mr. Fantastic, was his old rival, Reed Richards. Doom's rivalry with Reed raged over the years, as the Fantastic Four kept stopping Doom at every turn. Whether it was plots for world domination, mad schemes to gain power, or even time travel, the Fantastic Four seemed to always be there to foil his plans. There is no denying Dr. Doom is a formidable villain, a genius scientist on par with Mr. Fantastic. a powerful sorcerer able to keep up with Doctor Strange. But what makes Doom Doom is that he believes he's superior to both of them, and frankly, any other hero you could mention. And he is tussled with some of the best. Not only the Fantastic Four, but heroes like the Avengers, X-Men, Spider-Man, and more. As for Doom's fearsome armor, it can blast you with energy, communicate with technology, travel between dimensions, and fly. That armor also grants Doom super strength, allowing him to go toe-to-toe with powerful heroes like the Thing. Even with all he controls, Doom always thirsts for more power. In that quest, whatever Doom can't create, he will try to take for himself. Like the Silver Surfer's board, and even the Infinity Gauntlet. Above all things, Doom is the supreme leader of Latveria, ruling his country with a literal iron fist. From his sprawling castle in Latveria, protected by an army of identical Doombots that follow his every order, Dr. Doom remains a threat to the whole world. Doom will never give up, because he knows there is no one stronger, no one smarter, no one more fit to rule, and no one can stand in his way. Not even that pest, Reed Richards. Now, bow before Doom.
Unlock a world of possibilities, where exceptional sound quality meets comfort from the very first fit. Powered by our new proprietary era chip that brings a new level of sound processing. Regardless of the environment, it adjusts your hearing aids to your surroundings every.
IDK if all three of those girls lives together and somebody ran over their dog or something, but all three of them looked like they absolutely hated being there, and me ordering my meal was the biggest inconvenience they could have experienced. I feel so bad for these workers. They need a hug, but also screw them 1 star.
38.
I can't believe this McDonald's took my review down, but that's okay. I will recite it. They had no barbecue sauce for their nuggets. The whole
Where you
Memorial
said,
Day
where your dog at?
for all you barbecue sauce lovers out there. If you went to this location on any of those days and asked for barbecue sauce and you were told they didn't have any more, you must have felt crushed like I did. Like, what was the point of ordering nuggets and finding out they didn't have barbecue sauce afterwards? Why didn't they disclose that fact before ordering the nuggets and paying for it? I'll tell you why. Because they wanted to take advantage of us, just to get that sale. What the employees do? Take the barbecue sauce to their homes to use for their own Memorial Day weekend barbecues? This is one memorable, unfavorable moment that will be remembered for years to come. You know, there are many who are barbecue sauce lovers out there that went through the same feeling I did when I ordered 3 20-piece nuggets just to find out afterwards they didn't have any barbecue sauce. Like, if you agree. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but do you think they're out of barbecue sauce because the world's #1 barbecue sauce lover keeps ordering there? Going through all the trouble to write a review and then recite the review again, all because they were out of barbecue sauce, seems like a lot, but 60 nuggets with no sauce on a national holiday is a tragedy, I'll give you that. I love that this guy didn't even consider that they were just out of sauce and instead went full conspiracy mode, thinking the employees were hoarding the sauce for their own barbecue. You gotta have barbecue sauce for your barbecue. It's in the name. I'm not going to act like every fast food restaurant is in the right all the time, because I've had my fair share of terrible fast food experiences too. I once ordered a burger from Sonic, and they gave me the burger with no meat. And I went, dang, well, that's how my day is gonna go, I guess. I didn't write a lengthy review to hopefully be seen by someone at corporate. I don't know. I got other problems. If reading these reviews has taught you anything, it's that these fast food workers have to deal with all sorts of customers going through all sorts of problems. So please be the customer who shows a little compassion. They are handling your food after. Leave a like if you agree. My child works for Whataburger, hasn't been paid since December 2nd. Today is 1/4 and still no paychecks. We've been told lies saying paycheck is coming to the store, then FedEx is delivering it, and still nothing. He's only 18, so I feel like they're trying to get over on him. Not to mention the shift manager, Liz, is having an affair with some of the employees. Yo, what? A burger? Thank you all for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, then I highly recommend reading some of these corporate office fast food reviews yourself. They're a real treat to read. Just some of the passion that these people have needs to be studied. Obviously, not everyone who leaves a 1-star review is an obnoxious Karen, but the ones who go out of their way to review a corporate office are some of my favorites. Thanks again for watching, and wear your seatbelt.
When you're watching any animated piece of media, I think it's easy to forget that you're watching drawings move. Excuse me? What kind of Harry Potter dark magic is this? Since when did drawings move? I drew a picture of a dog once, but it hasn't moved at all, not even to play fetch. Well, what you're really watching isn't actually moving. What you're really watching is a series of individual frames played at a rapid speed on a liquid crystal display screen that emit photons into your eyeball receptors that get processed by your brain into what it perceives as movement. It was all a trickery, you see. A ruse that you fell for hook, line, and sinker. Now, a lot of you probably already know about the concept of frame rate, but what I want you to understand is that in cartoons, every head turn, every blink, everything that happens had to be meticulously drawn by a person who studied anatomy and knows about physics and movement, knowing full well that their drawing was only going to be seen for a fraction of a second. And you weren't even watching! You were on your phone! Today, I would like to turn back the sands of time and talk about some of the ways animators were able to achieve the illusion of life without the help of modern technology. I hope by watching you can better understand and appreciate the medium of animation as much as I do, because the amount of dedication and hard work that goes into just making drawings move is unreal. And if you're like me and already know a bit about animation history and find this kind of stuff fascinating, don't worry, I didn't have a lot of friends growing up either. Now, we know that animation is just copious amounts of drawings being shown in rapid succession. But how the are we going to get people to look at copious amounts of drawings in rapid succession without a computer? Well, believe it or not, there's actually quite a few things we can do without even having to use a camera. One method we can try is by drawing out all of our frames on a stack of paper. I know that's the time-consuming part, but after we're done doing that, we'll hang up all our drawings side by side on a very long wall. Then we'll ride a bike next to the wall and continuously have our head turned facing the wall, and if we pedal fast enough, we'll zip by the drawings so fast that it'll look like they're moving. Hey look! It's a horse! Okay, you're probably thinking, that's not how animation is made. And you're right, this method of animation is totally impractical. But not impossible. This type of human transportational animation has been done before in subway tunnels, with the results looking pretty legit. I mean, this minion looks like he's totally moving. I might as well be in the cinema. And for those of the gamer variety, YouTuber Pale of Pears was able to achieve this method of animation flawlessly in Minecraft.
Summer is here, and Kroger
6
is your
years have
destination
passed since
for
that
hot
horrendous
savings.
incident.
Find unique items at low prices.
It was right before I was to take on my duties as
Yeah.
protecting the president's daughter when she was abducted.
Don't forget
Who would have thought that my first job would have been a rescue mission?
Summer's latest lineup with Kroger Brand's limited edition All-American Ice Cream Collection. Easy to enjoy by eating affordable prices. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
If you want to do something more practical, you should instead take your drawings off the really long wall and then stack them up like a book and then just flip through the paper quickly. Then you can flip them. If you have some sticky notes lying around that you forgot about in a junk drawer somewhere, you can make a pretty simple wall quickly. With results being,
I'm under the president's order to rescue you.
My father?
On the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Time is almost up. Take out anything that might interfere with our
I don't want to freak
plans.
you out, but
What
we're gonna have to jump on the whole thing. What you're going to do is sculpt out a three-dimensional figure of whatever you want to animate. Let's animate this guy jumping. But first, I'm going to set my our sculptures and space them out evenly
Not taking
on a
any
round
chances,
table. Sorry,
the President of the
I'm not
United
gonna
States
use
ordered a
this.
contingency
Now,
plan
make the table
to
spin.
sterilize records.
That's on you to figure out how to do. I don't
The
know.
whole affair
Maybe
gone
get the fight
public.
guy give him the first
The
example
United
of
States
pedals.
government issued an indefinite suspension of business decree to Umbrella. Soon its stock prices crashed.
Right now.
For all intents and
Quick, all right?
purposes,
I'm not going to wait for you.
Umbrella
And now for the
is
final
finished.
step. Turn your lights on and off really quick. If you did everything right, the effect you get is mesmerizing.
6 years have passed since that horrendous incident. I received special training via a secret organization working under the direct control of the president. I was to assume the responsibility of protecting the new president's family.
So we turn the lights on and the sculptures are in the same spot.
Why am I the
Turn them
one
off
who
when
gets
you're
to sort of
What we end up seeing is all of our figures standing in a circle performing the animation, and we don't even register. And congratulations, you all know what a zoetrope is now.
Guess that's a local's way of breaking the ice. Anyway, you know what this is all about. My son works to search for the president's missing daughter. Sure, the boys didn't just tag along so we could sing Kumbaya together at some Boy Scout bonfire. Then again, maybe he did.
Okay, let's talk about how one more way to show people drawing in quick succession without a camera. And it's the easiest method to find.
Counting on you
All
guys.
you need is this glitchy, abstract drawing like this. Pretty cool and random, right? Except it's not. Not random at all. Line. Every line here is placed very deliberately. Let me show you something. If we take this floppy, transparent sheet full of vertical bars and cover up most of the drawing, hey, look at that. The
It was
outline
right
we end up
before I
seeing
was to
looks
take
like
on my
all that
duties of
pink
protecting the president's
now,
daughter
slide
when
the
she was
transparent
abducted.
sheet over and it reveals different
That's the ultimate reason I'm in this lonely
looks like
rural
it.
part of Durham.
And if we keep sliding this sheet over,
There's
revealing
reliable
different parts
information
of the
about a
drawing.
sighting of a girl that looks very similar to the president's
This is
daughter.
called a barrier grid
She's
animation.
being
And with
held
the
by
right
some
base drawing,
unidentified
you can make all sorts of animations
Who would
that
have
don't
thought
hurt
that
to
my
look
first
at
job
all.
would have been
And
a rescue
also, I
mission?
just want to point out that a barrier grid animation was also featured in these seasons of the opening.
It's freezing.
Later. So all these different methods of showing people drawings in quick succession, I don't know if there's a word for it, but I'm calling it physical animation. Like animation you can hold and touch with your
Sorry it
fingers.
took so
Now,
long.
all of those warrior cat animation themes, that's digital animation. Right? This is physical reality. But there's one form of physical animation that we haven't talked about yet that's unarguably the most popular and the most important form of physical animation to have ever existed on Earth. Excuse me. Okay, now we're going to use cameras. Okay, they finally figured it out. With the invention of film, showing people multiple images in quick succession had never been easier. Now we can take something from real life, burn an image of that into a film strip, process it, and then shine a light through it again to get a recreation of the image. And if we roll
You
this
say
whole strip
you'll
of
never
film
join the
over
Navy.
strobe light,
That living on a
we get
submarine
moving
would be
pictures.
too hard to
That's
stay
why
awake.
they're
You
called
can never
movies,
power a
'cause
whole
they
ship with
look
nuclear energy.
a lot of times,
Never bring a
film was
patient
used to
back
capture
to
the
life.
movements of real people, but it was also
Or
used
play the
in the same
national
way to
anthem
capture
for a
the
sold-out
movements
crowd.
of people of the animated films.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is.
1968
Start your
animated
journey
Batman
at
series.
Navy.com.
First time
America's
Batman
Navy,
ever appeared in
forged
animation
by the sea.
form. You know, the
Leon,
really
I
old
hope you can hear
Batman
me.
cartoon
Want to
that
sharpen
had
your
all
trading
the
skills
ideas
without
of
risking
the
real
fight
money?
scenes?
Try the FTMO free trial for 14 days. Trade in a realistic, simulated environment and build confidence. Tap the banner and start your free trial today. FTMO.
This group is, they sure picked the wrong girl to kidnap.
In 200 feet, turn right. Then apply to refinance your auto loan with Navy Federal Credit Union.
Huh?
Navy Federal offers low rates that can help you save every month on your auto loan.
Wow. I can get all that with Navy Federal?
You sure can, good buddy.
Refinance your auto loan with Navy Federal to get on the road to better rates. Learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto refinance. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Credit and collateral subject to approval.
what's called
carajo
cell
estás haciendo
animation.
aquí?
This is the
Lárgate,
brain of
cabrón.
the Batman, who was
Sorry,
hand-painted.
Papa.
That's right, painted with special paint onto a transparent sheet or cell. And then this transparent sheet was laid on top of the background. And then this guy got kicked when he had to be painted on his own cell sheet. And then this image of sandwiched art was captured onto the film. Strange. Then the Batman cell would come off. Cell of Batman. This one shot that lasted over a second. Just for a second. Now, because having to hand paint 20 different images for 1 second is insane, there are some things we can do to cut corners without having to sacrifice too much
There was a
quality.
hostile
Like
local.
this shot,
I had no
Robin
choice
takes
but to
5
neutralize
frames
it.
to turn
There
his
are
head,
still
but
others
his
surrounding
body
the area.
doesn't move.
Get out of there and head toward the village. Take whatever measures necessary to save the subject.
5 different heads. And since we already have all the frames painted, we can just use the same frames in reverse to make his head turn the other way. And you don't need to paint a background artist to paint a background if you just use blue. A big part of cell animation was being able to animate pieces of a character independently of each other. That's actually why so many old cartoon characters had accessories around their necks, so the animators could separate the characters' heads from their bodies, making it easier to animate. Fred wasn't rocking that ascot just because it was trendy. One of the nice things about using a computer to animate is that you can play back what you animated and quickly see if your timing is correct and if there's any quick adjustments you can make. Being able to see what your previous frames are is so important. There's actually a term for it called onion skin. But animators pre-2K didn't have computers to rewatch their work. So here's what they did instead. Before they even put paint onto a cell, they first had to draw all their frames out onto a piece of paper. And they didn't work on the frames in chronological order. Like, they didn't go, okay, I just drew the first frame of Batman. Okay, here's the second frame of Batman. Okay, I'm gonna move to the third frame of Batman. Okay, you're gonna do the fourth frame. That way of animating is called straight ahead animation. And some people may think that the results look animated, but it's still used pretty effectively for effects and on visuals. But most of the time, animators will animate a character from nose to And because there are hundreds of shots all having to be animated without a computer, can you really blame the animators that some shots of Batman look like this? Or this? It was old, remember? Old things are bad. Okay, I kind of have a secret. Remember when I said, let's look at an old cartoon? Well, I might have overemphasized how old the Batman cartoon is. By the time the Batman cartoon came out, the movie Bambi had been out for 25 years. And are you aware of how fucking fluid the animation in Bambi is?
Planning for your family's future? Put it in the right hands with LegalZoom. It's too important to let it fall into the wrong hands. LegalZoom is the simple, affordable online solution for estate planning. If you need a will or trust, LegalZoom guides you through every step to ensure your loved ones and assets are protected. So if you need a legal hand, visit LegalZoom. LegalZoom provides access to independent attorneys and self-service tools. LegalZoom is not a law firm and does not provide legal advice.
What does the $7 big deal meal get you at Sonic? The real question is, what doesn't it get you? For just $7, you score a classic Sonic cheeseburger, medium fries or tots, a medium drink, plus premium chicken bites. That's a full meal, then some. Only thing it doesn't get you is a bigger dashboard to hold your $7 spread. But that's what cup holders are for. Enjoy a full meal plus premium chicken bites for just $7. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. Exclusions apply. Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
To make an episode of Bambi. I don't mean that as a dunk on Batman. I'm more so
Good
impressed
morning,
with how
students.
amazing Bambi looks.
Soccer
Especially
teaches
since
us teamwork,
while it
leadership,
came out,
geometry,
World War
art,
II
physics,
was
and
currently
a lifetime of
happening.
lessons
So
we can
because
take with us
celluloid sheets
long
were
after
used
we
to
leave the
animate
field.
every TV show,
That's why
movie,
Bank of
and
America
anime
and
there
U.S.
has
Soccer
ever
are
been
committed
before
to
the
helping
year
bring soccer to
2000-ish.
every school.
By my calculations, there are
Soccer
millions of
is
cell
officially
sheets out
in
there.
session.
Like this single frame of
Raise your
Batman
hand to help
kicking.
bring soccer to
It's
schools
on a
at
cell sheet somewhere.
bofA.com/soccer
And
at
more
schools.
importantly, who owns it? Many of the cells that still exist have been sold to the general public. But because of how the paint and time works, cell sheets need to be kept very well preserved. So since cells are very hard to preserve, and because they're not making any new ones, some cells are worth a lot of money. This cell and original background from My Neighbor Totoro sold for $84,000. While I'm writing the script, there's currently an auction going on for this cell from the Jungle Book for $10,000. And I own this cell of Squidward laughing that I got at a convention for $300. It's not an original background. The background's a print, and it's actually not even the correct background for the shot. But I'm just pointing out that not all cells are thousands of dollars. You know, they made millions of these, so you can get a cell from a TV show for a couple hundred, and then you get to own a frame of animation that belongs to you now, which I think is super cool. This moment of Squidward laughing belongs to me, and you can't have it. So if you ever visit some friends who really like cartoons, there's a good chance that they have an animation cell somewhere on display. And those are just a handful of ways that animators were able to achieve the illusion of life without a computer. And I do just want to say, just because something was animated on a computer doesn't make it any less artistic. Yes, computers make the process easier and more streamlined, absolutely. It's still a human expressing their creativity and being in control of that. Did you hear me? It's a human expressing themselves and being in control creatively. I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about animation history. There's still quite a few things that I didn't get to cover, like how did Walt animate this panning, parallaxing shot of Bambi where the trees move on separate layers? What kind of technology did they create to make trees move at different speeds? So much hard work and talent is involved in every piece of animation you see, and because of animation, we're able to tell incredible stories that are nothing like anything we ever see in our day-to-day lives. And before I go, can we talk about the intro to the Batman series, please? Oh my god. I just want to go over some quick announcements. I'll be quick, don't worry. The Scribble Showdown Tour is coming back in January to a city near you, but this time the kiddies aren't invited. That's right, only the adults this time. Leave the children at home with the babysitter. If you're like me and are behind on your Christmas shopping, there's some new holiday merch in the merch store, so go check it out. But if the shipping won't get there in time, then there's also the Oddball graphic novel available in retail stores like Target and Barnes & Noble and Walmart. I'll probably see you all in years ago. After the movie, that they need to tell you the story. I try to use some part of my life for a hobby, but this story wouldn't make sense if I called this person Brandeis. We both talked about it, and it's so easy to tell you that, guys, I just received the highest milestone on track. One day during quarantine, me and my girlfriend were feeling lethargic and a little sad, as one does in quarantine. We had both bought Disneyland annual passes and were planning on going to the park every single day of 2020, but the timing could not have worked out more horribly, and I still don't know if I'm getting a refund. I'm not, aren't I?
You can continue from a previously saved game.
Was that him and his GIF drove down to the beach and had a picnic in their car.
Choose an opponent and fight it out to see who's the strongest.
And I thought
Choose an opponent and
so me and my GIF decided that we too were also going to visit the recently open beach and be tranquil as shit.
Disney's Descendants Wicked Wonderland is taking you on a journey down the rabbit
Obviously, we were going to wear masks and stay 6 feet apart from everyone, including each other. In my head, I was imagining we would just find a secluded area and we would watch the wet, white, watery waves wash westward while wondering what weather we would want. What? So that weekend, we packed up our beach supplies, sandwiches, and our doggies, and we started our hour-long journey to total tranquility. And in energy like, yes, we get to go!
Let's go!
You got so lucky, bitch.
I want to fight you again.
So do you?
You know you can't beat me. Ready? Fight! Showtime! Let's go!
Again? Again, bruh? Thank you. Oh, you little bitch. Yeah, bitch. Fuck that. Fucking stay down, bitch. Oh, you said what? He's done after this. Should have been done after like the last. What the fuck?
That was pretty fun.
So, what did we do? Well, we ate our sandwiches on a bench near a beach with our fingers. And we had nothing to wash it down with since we used our water to wash our hands and we couldn't drink from the ocean like we originally planned. And then we did what we in the business call give up. We drove back home empty-handed, thankfully. Both groups were stacked out for the day, even though they did literally nothing other than stick plastic cups out for both of them. I love both of those dogs, but I'm not bringing them back to the beach ever again. Not like they're allowed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
There's not a happy ending to this story. We're both very upset. But sometimes our most memorable trips are the ones we spend with people we love. Sometimes life's a beach.
Kroger makes it easier than ever to satisfy all your protein and fiber needs with our exclusive brands. Now you can find these extra benefits in the foods you already know and love. Snack smarter with Simple Truth Protein Salsa Verde tortilla chips. Or grab a Simple Truth Protein Energy Bar or protein water when you're on the go.
Double Sunday!
Oh shit! Oh! What the? What the fuck? Fuck you, bitch. Oh! What the fuck? Yeah, bitch. The fuck? Yeah, right hand, bitch. Oh. I'm still finna get the bitch. That's all it is to it.
How do you feel now, idiot?
So much time and care and hard work was put into this series that there was a documentary made about how hard it was to make this series. If any of you are wondering, no, Where You Nip does not make an appearance in Age of Resistance, nor is there a naked baby gem puppet. Also, if you're worried that the show wasn't going to be as dark and scary as the original, don't worry. It's darker and scarier than the original. The Netflix family Twitter account was nice enough to timestamp every scary part of the series, and as you can see, stuff goes down in episode 7. Surprisingly, though, they didn't blacklist the scene of the Skeksis peeing on 3 different pee streams in episode 6 at 28 minutes and 41 seconds. So, artistically, this series is beautiful. It needs to do well because it's left open for a season 2, and I want to see how we get greenlit. I'm not going to do a plot summary of the whole thing like I did in the first review because I don't want this video to be an hour long and you should watch it for yourself. I'm not just going to do everything for you. I'm not your mom. But there are some things you should know before you go watching the series. This is kind of spoilery, but I won't spoil that much. So this alien planet is home to these creatures called Gelflings. They can share memories with each other by holding hands, and the girl Gelflings have wings. There's also this other creature called Agura, who's been around since the beginning of the world. She's basically Yoda's sassy grandma. And then out of nowhere, these tree aliens visit. Stay with me here. And they crack this very important crystal, and in doing so, they split into 2 different creatures. Their goodness becomes this thing called a mystic, who are dumb, and their bad side become these cool bird monsters called Skeksis, and then the Skeksis took over the entire world, so whoops. None of this is explained in the original movie, and it's not explained in the series until episode 7, but I think that the tree alien backstory should have started the series, which is why I just spoiled it for you. The original 90-minute film already had so much lore, and this new Netflix reboot just added even more lore? There's even a character named Lore? How much lore is there? Speaking of names, there are a lot of made-up words in this series, and sometimes those made-up words are hard to remember. Within the first minute of Age of Resistance, the narrator tells us that there are 7 clans of Gelfling, but then only names 3 because there are only 3 important ones that we should care about. I don't even know the names of the other 4 clans, and I'm like a Dark Crystal aficionado. Also, there are like 10 evil bird monsters, all with names like Skekso, Skeksil, Skektek, and Shrek. Granted, most of the time they go by their more common names like Chamberlain or the Emperor, but gosh dang it, I can't even remember some of those names. That's the pussy one, and that's the one that made that weird face in the original movie, and that's the one whose voice does not sound like a Skeksis at all.
Now, what vexes you? On the under $3 menu at McDonald's, a sausage burrito is $1.50. So dip, drizzle, or douse to your heart's desire. Cause no matter how you sauce your sausage burrito, it's still just $1.50.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Child.
Another thing you should know is that I thought this series was pretty slow. Maybe it's because I'm impatient, or I'm used to watching YouTube videos at 2x speeds exclusively, but do you remember in the original movie how there was a scene where the Skeksis ate dinner for 2 whole minutes, and visually it was amazing, but the whole time you're thinking, yeah, I get it. Well, there are a lot of scenes like that in the series. Let's take the beginning of episode 2, for example. It starts with a character we've never seen before, waking up, and putting on his shoes, and making porridge. And then spilling the porridge on his shirt, and brushing his hair, then roughing it up, then grabbing his cleaning supplies. And it's just a whole minute of this unnamed character getting ready for his day. It's just so boring. Just cut it, please. And it wouldn't be that bad if this was the only example, but trust me, there are plenty of examples. I just don't want to spoil any of them for you. Turning a 90-minute movie into a 9-hour TV series, you're going to have some filler or some scenes that don't necessarily drive the plot forward. I get that. Luckily, I found this Chrome plugin that lets you watch Netflix at 2 times speed, so
It's all good.
making this video has got me thinking about prequels and how tricky they are to do right. In the original movie, there are only 2 Gelflings left in the entire world. So a prequel that sets up a world with 7 different Gelfling clans, we as an audience know that something's gonna happen, and it ain't gonna look good for the Gelfling. The series also added this MacGuffin Halo sword looking thing that was supposed to save the world, but the whole time watching that I kept thinking, no. That's not how the world is saved. The world's not saved until 1982. Also, there are certain characters that we know can't die because they're in the original movie, but boy does this show make you think some OG characters are gonna die. It almost makes me wish that the writers used the 80s Dark Crystal movie as inspiration and rebooted the series in its own separate universe. Movie reviewers tend to focus a lot on the negatives, and I don't want to come off as a hater because I really did enjoy this series, and I want a season 2 to get made, so let's end this video with some of the things I liked about this series. I like that we got to see the Skeksis with more personality because they were always so over-the-top evil. The Hunter Skeksis was just on a whole new level of cool. All the other Skeksis never came across as threatening. Like look how slow they walk. I could beat them up. But the Hunter Skeksis, oh man, he was awesome. Do you think he'll be my friend? I like that the series didn't tone down the darkness, and if anything, they amplified it. Because everyone like me should have a deep-seated fear of puppets. There are some great nods to the original Dark Crystal, like when the Emperor Skeksis says, I will never be dust! But we all know that's the very first thing he does in the original movie. Celadon is a piece of garbage and does not deserve a redemption arc. The voice acting is amazing. There are a lot of talented people voicing these characters, like Luke Skywalker. A YouTuber named Barnaby Dixon, who made these very cool Mantis finger puppets, got to work on a scene where the puppets put on a mini puppet show. And that was everything I liked about Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. So, in conclusion, if you have 9 hours of free time, download the Video Speed Controller plugin, set that bad boy to 2, and save yourself 4.5 hours. But do watch Age of Resistance. Also, executives, if you still need someone to play Rayunip, hello. Hey. Boys and girls, come hear my greeting. I hope you don't plan on sleeping. Tonight, for while you are dreaming, evil awakes, unearthed and creeping. There's things that thump, things that bite, things that go bump in the night. What are these things, you sit and ponder? Brace yourselves. We call them monsters. What? He's gonna tell us about monsters, but they're not gonna be that scary. Silence, you dirty apparition! Don't you see the danger you are in? For what I speak is 100% real. Don't believe me? Just ask my pet eel. This guy's nuts. What? I'm not an apparition, I'm a ghoul. The first monster we'll see today is something that, likes to eat hay. First they champ, then they stamp, then... Okay, I can't speak in rhymes for the whole thing. I have a question for you guys. Are you familiar with the term furry? What? Well, after doing research on these monsters, I don't think furry is a new concept. Humans, for whatever reason, have always been obsessed with personifying animals. And who can blame them? Look how cute these guys are. Now, a lot of these monsters follow a similar pattern. So if you ever wanted to Frankenstein up a monster, all you have to do is take 2 already existing animals, one of them being preferably a human, and then you just gotta put them together. You all know about mermaids. One part sexy, the other half is just some lady. Well, do you know about this even scarier combination? It's called a hippocampus. Half hippo, half college. They say after 4 stressful years, he accumulates $100,000 of debt, and no one in his field is hiring. Oh, I'm just messing with you guys. Okay, but for real, a hippocampus is a half fish, half horse. Oh, like the Neopet. What? Yeah, Ethiopian. I had one when I was like 2. I used my Christmas paintbrush on it. You guys aren't scared of a literal seahorse? Well, how does it kill people? Like can it turn them into stone? No, but the Scandinavians have a version called the Kelpie that tricks humans into riding them, and then it drowns the humans. Probably should have started with that one. That's okay, I guess. Alright, Edward, if a murderous horse doesn't put you on edge, then how about this? A monopod. Yeah, that's right, it looks just like a regular person, but it only has 1 leg. Whoa, are you calling amputees monsters? No, this amputee has one giant leg. And by the way, these guys date back all the way to 400 BC, way before the first amputee ever existed. Also, despite them only having one leg, they're supposedly very fast, so imagine this guy aggressively chasing you at midnight. Yeah, I'm sure you'd piss your pants too. What about this? A Blemmy. Again, looks like a regular person, but oh wait, where's its head? I don't see it anywhere. Ow, it's on its chest, like some kind of Pokemon. Come on, does this not terrify you? How would you give this guy a hug without suffocating him? My dad doesn't have a head. Also, he rides a horse, so this is all a pretty normal Tuesday for me. Alright, it's fine that you're not scared, because I've been saving the best monsters for last. Everyone, meet the Surpoperd. It has the body of a lion, the head of a lion, but the neck of a snake. Ugh, it's so gross. Why would anything need that long of a neck? So it can talk to giraffes? Imagine if it could retract its neck, and then you just think it's a normal old lion and say, hey, that's pretty scary, but at least it's 20 feet away from me, and then its head would just extend out of its body and then bite your head off. Speaking of snake-based creatures, what is the second most mischievous animal? Answer, the snake. Snakes represent Slytherin from Harry Potter, and those guys are always up to something, and snakes were responsible for the fall of man. But do you know what the number one most mischievous animal is? Answer, the fox. He's been in a ton of fables. He's a master hustler. So the fox and the snake are two of the most mischievous animals. But what if they had a baby together? Well, take a look at this monster from Chile called I can't say it. The Giravulu, there we go. It's a half fox, half snake, and it has a claw for a tail, and it also creates whirlpools to drown people. Now this would be a really cool monster if it wasn't so terrifying. You know what? I got even more snake-based monsters to show you. Take a look at the Amphisbaena. Amphisbaena. I said it right. It's a half snake, but the same half. It's a snake with two heads on both ends for double biting action. I think it would be cool if there was a creature that was the snake's tail on both sides. That'd be so useless. Oh wait, that's just an oversized worm. How would either one of them poop? Great question. I honestly don't know how a real snake poops. And the last snake-based monster I'm going to show you is called the Chelolita longicollis. That's its Latin name. Its real name is the snake-necked turtle. It's a lot like the Surpopard with its long neck, but instead a turtle. But I doubt you'll have to worry about these things. There's no way these abominations can be real. No, those are real. Huh? They're indigenous to Australia. I saw one at the zoo with my dad. There's no way these things can be real. No, they're definitely real. But do you know what isn't real? All of us. None of us are real, James. Why do you think we all have the same voice? You're talking to yourself again. It's been 3 weeks since the accident. You need to snap out of it. What are you guys talking about? You're totally real. So, did I scare you? Huh? You guys scared? Hey, you! Knock it off in there.
Hello everyone, it's me, James. I just wanted to let you know that I'm launching this card game called Cafe Chaos on Kickstarter today. There'll be more info at the end of the video. This isn't some bit. I actually made a card game and I worked really hard on it, so please click the link in the description to get your...
My name's Joe Exotic. I exploit dangerous wild animals for profit, and that's only the least reprehensible thing I've done. In this 8-part docuseries, I'll show you the bad, the horrible, and downright disgusting aspects of what it's like to be a polyamorous, meth-addicted Tiger King. I'm the real Pokemon master, you hear?
And just like that, by watching other garbage humans on his television, James felt ever so slightly at peace while the world crumbled around him. For the first time in months, James smiled.
I'll be real with you, being in quarantine has sucked a lot. I miss hanging out with friends, I miss going to non-essential businesses, and I miss wiping my butt with toilet paper instead of my dog. All I've had for company has been floof and my own mind. So it's been a little hard to stay motivated during this time. But if staying home instead of going to Disneyland will save people's lives, then I guess I'll have to make that sacrifice. It's so hard to be a good person.
Some of the things that have been helping me mentally has been exercise, a positive mindset, and garbage television. I used to think that garbage television was stupid and a waste of my mortal existence. But as I started watching more garbage, I realized that I've already been fascinated and enjoyed watching garbage content for years. Have you seen the videos I make? I've said this in my conspiracy video that I love watching crazy people talk for hours. Now take those same people, give them a camera crew and a budget, and you got a brand new show on TLC. What's that? You've never heard of TLC, the Learning Channel? Well, TLC is full of wonderful programs and documentaries that'll teach you if you become trashy enough, you'll end up on TV. And that's what schools should be teaching. No, this video isn't sponsored by TLC, but if they wanted to sponsor me, I'd say no. I just want to be on an episode of My Strange Addiction. I'll tell you what the addiction is later, TLC. One show I've been unhealthily binging is called 90 Day Fiancé. It's about when a boy meets a girl, or a girl meets a girl, or a man meets a much younger girl online, and they sort of like each other, but they're from different countries, so when they meet each other, they have 90 days to decide if they want to get married before their visa expires. It's great that the internet exists so that these clearly desperate people in different countries even have the chance to form a relationship. And it's equally great that the internet exists so we can watch very personal moments of these strangers' lives. The show really shines with the most garbage of couples. I've seen other YouTubers talk about this one specific couple, Big Ed and Rose. I don't want to make fun of Big Ed's appearance, but let's just say he saves a lot of money on scarves.
Disney. That feeling of euphoria can take place anywhere. Crushing your goals can happen on your time. Finish line celebrations start wherever you want. Discover the magic in every mile.
And Turtle next. He's a 54-year-old pursuing a relationship and wanting to marry a 23-year-old Filipino woman named Rose. And Ed has a daughter that's 6 years older than Rose. And he's older than Rose's father. Can you imagine for a second if your mom was 6 years younger than you? And on top of that, Ed is a huge liar. He lied about his height, he lied about wanting to have kids with her, he's also really mean to Rose. I mean, sure, he's old enough to be her father, so he's probably used to talking down to young people, and a dad telling their kids that their legs are hairy and their breath stinks is justifiable. But this is his girlfriend. At least make her a bag lunch first. Even if I thought Big Ed was the best guy in the world, do I think a relationship could work between people with a 31-year age gap?
Well, let's take a look at the math. Here is the half-year age plus 7 rule graphed out. So if you're 30, then it's socially acceptable to be dating someone who's 22. Now, obviously, this graph isn't set in stone, but for reference, here's Big Ed's age versus Rose's age. So when Ed was 40 and taking care of his 15-year-old daughter, Rose was 9.
So do I think an age gap of 31 can work? Well, mathematically and common sense speaking, not until Ed is 76 and Rose is 45. I think that'll take longer than 90 days, though. The second and third reason I love this show is David and Lana. I haven't seen any YouTubers talk about this couple, but they need to. Meet David, a 60-year-old guy from Vegas who's fallen head over wallet for a Ukrainian woman named Lana. He spent 7 years and $250,000 on a relationship where he hasn't even met the other person. He's tried to meet up with Lana on 3 separate occasions already, but got stood up every single time. Now he's putting all of his credit cards on the table and is willing to risk it all on a 4th trip to the Ukraine to meet his soon-to-be mail-order narechena, who doesn't speak English. Long story short, they meet after 13 episodes. David gives her a brand new iPhone X to text him on, only for him to get eternally ghosted because her nails were too long to text him back. Let me remind you that they were in contact for 7 years. That's how old Rose was when Ed was 38. Me briefly describing these two's relationship just now was so much of an emotional roller coaster that I don't even need to go back to theme parks anymore. It makes me want to puke, and I hope you can see why I love this show so much. I know that reality TV is fake, and who knows if this entire relationship was scripted and manufactured for the show. But I don't care if it's fake. This smile is real. Watching garbage television all day isn't as fun or healthy as it may seem, believe it or not. Even though I spent a good portion of this video hyping up trash TV, you should also be doing something productive.
like watching YouTube videos. To compensate for all the garbage I watch, I've been exercising more. Right when the pandemic began its exponential spike, I bought a home gym machine and I've been working out 3 times a week with my friend DJ. DJ and I met because we're both friends with Alan Becker, who makes these animations versus animator videos, and one day I noticed that DJ's muscles were a lot like one of my Japanese animes. He was a walking, breathing protagonist that my body dysmorphia had been holding me back from becoming. I reached my skinny hands out to DJ and said, "Hey DJ, can we work out together?" So this is where I put the iPad to talk to DJ.
Oh, hey James.
This is where I got the treadmill, the weights, and this is my favorite piece of equipment, this rag up here so I don't bump my head when I do pull-ups. This is where I keep my air conditioner because it gets very hot in this garage. This is what it used to look like a month ago. Anyway, the reason I started working out more seriously was because people were calling me skinny and other slanderous synonyms like slender and scrawny. And I told my friends that I was hurt by these comments, but they all unanimously agreed that it's true. I am a Slim Jim. It's important to have a reason for working out. Mine is self-loathing. DJ is forcing me to push myself. We've only been going for about 3 months, or a whole 90-day fiancé, and I've already gone from struggling to lift up this much weight to struggling to lift up this much weight. Sorry if I'm flexing too much on you, I'm just proud of my progress. The point is, while trash TV is fun, remember to mix in some productive activities during the day. For example, exercise. You don't need equipment. Do 10 push-ups right now. Clean up after yourself. During these hard times, keeping your space organized and tidy will be a big boost on your mental health. Wear a face mask if you need to go out. Learn how to cook. You should also be eating healthy too. Stop eating so many bagel bites. Watch parkour fails. Remind yourself how safe you are inside. These guys can get COVID and a broken tooth. Wear a face mask if you need to go out. Shave your head. Who cares anymore? Watch competitive sports fishing and get your blood pressure rise so much that you feel pressured into working out again. Oh my god, how big is that fish? Oh my god, it's a 1,200-pound bull shark. They need 7 people to pull it on the boat, and oh my god, is that big, Ed? At my Subway, you would spend your entire 5 to 6 hour work shift with only one other person, and you didn't get to pick that peculiar partner you were spending your precious period with. So that meant I was stuck with some...
What's up guys, it's Blake and Brady. We're here in Columbus, Texas. Super excited. Had our good friend Scott pick us up. We're headed to the North.
Crazy characters. And one of those characters was really into that new age snorting healing crystals kind of stuff. And he would specifically talk to me about it because I was the only other person there and all we could do for fun was watching bread rise. Since I was contractually obligated to stay, I would just listen to him ramble about how he thought the universe worked. He told me about chakras and how easy it was to open your third eye through LSD. He told me about scrying using black mirrors and that it's a common misconception that you can get stuck in the mirror. That's just a myth. That doesn't actually happen. Which is a good thing because getting stuck in a mirror is something I'm constantly worried about as an adult. Oh, and he told me that every illness is in your head and that hospitals can already cure anything, but they're not going to because if they cure you, they're going to lose a customer. So he's just going to stick to his essential oils and non-vaccinated immune system. Thank you very much. Listen, you can believe whatever you want to believe, as long as it's not hurting yourself or others, okay? But deny modern medicine? No, you can't do that, no! Since there were still 4 hours of the workday left and I didn't want to argue with him, I would just respond with, he didn't do crack or meth or any hard drugs that I know of that would alter his perception of reality. Even though he didn't trust hospitals or doctors, he really believed in the benefits of medical marijuana. If you're ever wondering what kind of person is making your sandwiches, yes, they did give this guy a license to touch your food. Whoa, my sandwich tastes like colors. I learned something about myself that day, and that is, I'm obsessed with crazy people. Even though I didn't believe a word he said, I would still ask him questions just to get him talking. Wait, so you're telling me that everything in Naruto was real? Something about talking to him and hearing his perspective was fascinating. This human that I share a planet with exists. What is a crazy person? A crazy person is not someone who has a weird hobby or owns a pet snake. A crazy person is someone who, despite having an astronomical amount of evidence pointing to one idea, believes in the latter. I'm not a psychologist, and maybe I should have consulted one before making this video, but I think crazy people have an unhealthy amount of unchecked distrust and paranoia. I don't know where to even begin talking to crazy people. Their worldview is just
trust NASA. Hospitals are lying about medicine. I don't trust doctors. The government's lying about, well, a lot of things. They're lizard people. Okay, that one might be true. Thankfully, I don't personally know any crazy people. Well, okay, some of my friends are into astrology, but they still get vaccinated, so, win some, you lose some. However, on the internet, there's an overwhelming abundance of crazy people. I'm guessing crazy people don't go outside because they think the government will target them with directed energy weapons or something. Yeah, only crazy people stay inside, wasting hours of their life behind computer screens. One of my guilty pleasures is that while I'm working, I will listen to crazy people talk for hours. It's weirdly my version of ASMR. I've tried listening to podcasts and audiobooks or anything that's good for my brain, but there's something so fascinating about listening to a 50-year-old genuinely tell you about his alien abduction. And it only has 300 views? This man was contacted by aliens, people. Why isn't he on the cover of Time magazine? YouTube will teach you everything you need to know about aliens. Did you know that aliens traveled millions of light years to build pyramids, stomp on our corn, and abduct a couple of crackpots? There's videos of people who will tell you in full confidence about the gray and praying mantis aliens living among us. I mean, the videos barely have any views, but they exist. Most of the views are from me. Okay, all of them. I don't understand how people think the moon landing was faked. There is so much evidence proving that the moon isn't even real. Wake up, sheeple! I gotta be honest, I don't think flat earthers are real. I think they're all just a bunch of trolls trying to get people like me to hate humanity. I'm no rocket scientist, but I know that our understanding of space and gravity is so beyond what shape the earth is. I'm amazed how much free information is available to people, but they still choose not to believe it. So I'm sorry, I just can't accept that flat earthers are real. I mean, I have nothing to back up this idea, though. I guess it's just a crazy theory of mine. Here's a lighthearted conspiracy for you. Some people think that the creators of the Sonic movie purposely made the design of Sonic bad in the first trailers as a marketing thing. Everyone was outraged about the bad designs and ended up talking about it, giving the movie free promotion. Meanwhile, the executives were planning to use the better designed Sonic all along. The evidence for this is, well, I'm talking about the Sonic movie right now, so I'm contributing to the theory that this was all for publicity. Another piece of evidence is, look at this. What is this? There's no way that any executive or anyone with 2 eyeballs would okay this ever. And honestly, I might have believed this conspiracy theory if this movie didn't exist. If it wasn't for the Cats movie, I would have thought Hollywood knew what they were doing too. But because it's current year and these types of things can still get past test screenings, I think sometimes Hollywood is just...
I have one question. Who made the Minions? Let's start at the beginning. Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus is an 1818 sci-fi horror novel written by the author Mary Shelley. Originally published anonymously in 3 volumes, the story quickly grew in popularity, and by 1831, Mary Shelley released an updated and edited version of the novel in 1 volume, which has become the version we now read today. Nearly 100 years later at the advent of cinema, the film studio system was taking root, and each major film studio raced to get an advantage over their competitors. There was the Big Five: MGM, Paramount, Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox, and RKO. And there was also the Little Three. Universal was one of the Little Three. Founded in 1912 by Carl Laemmle, Universal Pictures was successful, but by the 30s was still on the outside looking in. Laemmle Sr. was content with Universal as it was, but his son had bigger visions. Carl Laemmle Jr. had Universal invest a ton of money in new sound equipment and the purchase of stages and movie theaters. Although his exorbitant spending would cut his time as head of production at Universal short, he helped bring the studio into the future, and his lasting legacy would remain the types of stories he urged Universal to tell.
Mr. Carl Laemmle feels it would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning.
Horror. After the success of 2 literary horror adaptations from the studio, Hunchback of Notre Dame in 1923, and then The Phantom of the Opera in 1925, Carl decided it was time to venture back to the genre. He ordered several horror films into also have a weird little sidekick, an Igor, a henchman.
Need a fast, easy oil change? Jiffy does it. But there's even more to a Jiffy Lube oil change. In fact, they do 15 services during their 15-minute oil change service. No appointment needed. Free fluid top-offs, preventive maintenance check, all from highly trained technicians. Jiffy does it. Drive in today for a 15-minute oil change service. Because when it comes to fast, easy car maintenance, Jiffy does it. Jiffy Lube. Tap the banner to learn more.
The Minions were the standout stars of the film.
Parenting
After
doesn't take the
Despicable Me
summer
sequel in
off.
2013,
When
the
things feel
Minions were bumped
overwhelming,
from
the
supporting
Texas Parent
stars to the
Helpline
leads
is
with
here
their
for
very
you.
own
Get
standalone
free,
film in
confidential
2015.
parenting support.
Now in
Call or text
2026, with 6
24/7
movies
at
under their belts, the Minions will appear in their 7th film, Minions and
1-833-680-0611.
Monsters,
You're
which is
not
oddly
in it
enough
alone.
a love letter to the golden age of
Hi
cinema.
everyone, I'm Kimber Leah from True Crime with Kimber, where I bring you weekly deep dive true crime cases focusing on facts and sharing each case with compassion and thorough research. If you want even more content, including ad-free episodes, check out my podcast on Spotify. When you subscribe to Spotify Premium, you can listen without any commercial interruptions. So check it out, and I'll see you in my next story.
Still left with one question. Who is responsible?
Hey there, this is Jay Shetty, host of On Purpose. I sit down with influential voices across culture, wellness, and personal growth in this podcast created to bring you more health, happiness, and healing. Watch new video episodes on Spotify every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
He found his niche in animation with the success of the film he produced in the early 2000s, Ice Age. Illumination, the company that he founded in 2000.
No good. I could be totally wrong, though. If anyone watching worked on this movie and wants to be a whistleblower, let me know in the comments. Another rabbit hole I fell down was discovering a group of people called targeted individuals. Targeted individuals are a group of people that think the government is sending NSA agents to harass them. And this isn't just the American government. It turns out that every government in the world is harassing random citizens. They claim that they're being harassed because the government is trying to silence them for speaking the truth, when in reality, they're not speaking anything remotely true. A targeted individual will say things like, "People keep following me. There's a white van that's been parked in front of my house for hours. The government's been using electromagnetic radiation to transmit sounds and thoughts into my head." And the whole time I'm watching these people, I'm thinking, yo, that sounds like schizophrenia, my dude. I don't know your life. Maybe you just got out of a really bad cult and you do have stalkers following you. Okay, yes, that happens. But it's not the government. One targeted individual I saw said that the government attacked them with a directed energy weapon and that they've been having migraines and coughing up blood. And I'm just flabbergasted that someone actually believes this. How do you tell them, yo, the government's not harassing you? You probably have something going on in your digestive system. You need to see a doctor and a psychiatrist. And it's easy to point and laugh and make fun of these people, but after hearing their stories, I just feel bad for them. They are going through some major mental stuff, and I think they just need a friend to talk to. Most conspiracies can be disproven with a little bit of research, so it's important to think critically and not immediately believe everything you hear online. And if there's not enough data to make a judgment, then it's okay to say, "I don't know," or "I need to look into this further before making a conclusion." Viral misinformation punishes everybody, so it's important to do research, tests, and evaluations to form a concrete judgment before you hit that retweet button. There is one conspiracy theory I believe, and that is that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill... I'm sort of stealing this idea from Jaden Animations. Wait, no, that's not right. I'm not stealing it. I'm plagiarizing it. Jaden did a video talking about random thoughts she had, and you should all go watch it. And I thought, hey, I think randomly sometimes. So Jaden, is it alright if I make a video about my random thoughts? I hope you say yes, because I just did. What is happiness? Well, it's a chemical in your brain. And how do you get that chemical?
Fall sports are kicking off, and Dick's has the gear to perform your best with top brands like Nike, Jordan, and Adidas. From football to volleyball and soccer, find the fit to up your game. Plus, choose from over 300 styles in our house of cleats. Every season starts at Dick's.
Do you guys remember when the WRX crowd was all about vape clouds and Monster Energy drinks? Well, we do too, and also remember the VA WRX coming out and that meme permit played out. Honestly, we're over it. We're ready to run through the history of this retail car, from big groceries to laying frame on air at a show, to Dyson at a rally stage, and even setting time attack records on pavement. The WRX grew up a bit, and honestly, so did its owners. So let's buckle up and go through the VA WRX investigation. Alright, let's set the stage of why the VA WRX was built.
one can of paint to paint an entire room, and the room gets smaller by one can of paint. You brought a can of paint inside the room, and you never took it out. Every time you smell something, molecules from that thing get sucked up into your nose. That's how you're able to smell. So that means every time you smell something, it gets a tiny bit lighter. Do archaeologists have lingo and jokes that only other archaeologists will understand? Like, there's a whole other world of jokes that I won't get to experience because I'm not an archaeologist. Like, one day, two archaeologists could be digging a hole and one says, "I'm not finding anything." And then the other guy says, "Well, you know what they say in the archaeology business." And I don't know what they say because I'm not an archaeologist. How about we look up jokes for archaeologists? Why did Robin Hood pull out of the archery contest? We found it in harrowing experience. Okay, get that one? It just wasn't that funny. Nor was it about archaeology. Or maybe it was, and I just don't get it. We'll never know. Where did Caesar keep his armies? His sleeves. Okay, I had to get this one explained to me, but armies is supposed to be your arm, like your body arm, and your armies go up your sleeves. Get it? Except Julius Caesar wore a toga, so he didn't even have sleeves. And you could just say this about anyone who had an army. Where did Hitler keep his armies? Up his sleeves. Oh, ha ha ha. When you ask someone what time it is, sometimes they'll say it's a quarter to blank. And first off, I really hate that way of telling time, because now I have to use math just to know what time it is. Someone will say it's a quarter to 8. Okay, so a quarter to 8, well, a quarter is 25, so 8 minus 25 is negative 13. Wait, no, we're using time numbers. A quarter is 60, it's 10 minutes, so 8 minus 60 over 4, carry the 2, and oh, it's 8 o'clock now. We usually only say it's a quarter to when referring to whole numbers, but I wish people would use other times, like, hey, what time is it? Oh, it's a quarter to 8:37. Did you know that mosquitoes prefer type O blood more than any other blood type? Does that mean our blood tastes different? How can mosquitoes sense what blood type we are? Do mosquitoes think we come in different flavors? What if there was a restaurant for mosquitoes and the menu shows what our blood types? Are there mosquito snobs? Like, one mosquito would say, "Oh, I see you're doing O negative." Of course, you'd like that blood. Everyone likes that blood. I got that whole idea from a conversation I had with Jaden, and I said I was going to use it in my random thoughts video, so I'm just stealing everything from Jaden. You know what I think would be a funny contradiction? A fedora with a Tumblr logo on it. Whenever you leave for a trip, people will say, "Drive safe," which is fine. I always appreciate safe driving tips, but when you go flying in an airplane, sometimes people will say, "Have a safe flight," but I literally have no control if the plane flies safely or not. Why are you telling me to fly safe? I should be the one telling the pilot that. Hey, I just wanted to say that a lot of my friends are counting on you, so you better not screw this up. I appreciate the sentiment, but how do I fly unsafe? Maybe go on my phone before we take off, not watch the safety video, blow the plane up? Why do people care so much about fashion? If I bought some really nice clothes and I go to a party, out of everyone in that room, I'm the only one who can't see what I'm wearing, unless I look down the entire time. I can go to a party and be wearing just a bunch of clown makeup, and as long as there's no mirrors around and everyone plays it cool, I would have no idea that I'm wearing anything. And also, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing, because I look good in everything. I think this whole YouTube thing has given me a confidence boost. I wouldn't say it's an unhealthy amount, but it's given me confidence that I didn't have in high school. My parents bought me a Pokemon shirt for Christmas, and yeah, I like Pokemon, but I don't want the whole world to know that. And in high school, I wouldn't have worn any remotely geeky shirt, but now I can go outside and not even realize that I'm wearing my Pokemon shirt. And when I do realize, I usually think, that's embarrassing. The odd ones out, who cares? When my parents were my age, they already had a child, and here I am, wearing a Pokemon shirt. You know how different states in America will have different names for certain things? Like some states call it pop instead of soda, or how they call it a washroom instead of a bathroom, and apparently in Rhode Island they call it water fountain or tumbler, and everywhere else is just normal. Anyway, once I heard that down south, there's a phrase for when it's raining and the sun is still out, and that phrase is...
Feel like you don't have anyone to talk to? We're here to listen.
The Texas Youth Helpline offers free confidential support for teens. Call or text 24/7 at 1-800-989-6884. Judgment-free support anytime.
Chipotle Honey Chicken is back at Chipotle. Step into summer with fresh grilled chicken, spicy Chipotle peppers, and the perfect touch of pure honey. Chipotle Honey Chicken. It's taking heat and sweet to a whole new level. Back for a limited time. Order now in the Chipotle app for pickup or delivery.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
This is Jermaine Fowler, author of the Humanity Archive, recovering the soul of Black history from a whitewashed American myth. Through telling the stories of the human experience, I am always seeking to show, as Frederick Douglass said, that a smile has no nation, and a tear has no nationality, and that immaterial things like music and art and stories can bring us together and bridge the gap of our differences.
Even the devil.
Listen today on
I love it
Spotify.
when we give the devil more innocent and human characteristics. And given how few of times it rains in Arizona, I don't get to use that phrase very often. So already when it's raining, it's like, woo, it's raining, this day's gonna be great. But then when the sun's out, I get to say, look guys, the devil's meeting his wife. I hope they're happy together. Unfortunately, I misheard what that phrase was when I learned it. It's not the devil meeting his wife, it's actually the devil beating his wife. So I guess they're not happy together. I was so sad when I learned what it actually was. I don't know who this devil's wife is, but you need to find a new man, dude. And to think, I almost thought of you as an alright guy, Satan. I looked up that saying on Wikipedia, and in Tennessee they say the devil is kissing his wife. So I guess in Tennessee the devil's romantic, but everywhere else you just can't stand her. And the worst variation I could find has to be what they say in France. In France, when it rains and the sun's out, they say the devil is beating his wife and marrying his daughter. Whoa, France! I'd expect that sort of behavior from Tennessee, but not you, France. Why do you have to be so dramatic to describe your weather? I don't want to even know what you call snowstorms. So anyway, those are my random thoughts. I swear I don't do drugs. Do you all remember that classic kids movie made in the 70s about a pig and a spider? Yeah, Charlotte's Web. Remember how it made us a lot of money? I mean, remember how it ended on a cliffhanger? Yeah, big cliffhanger. It's been 30 years. Everyone wants to know what happened to that spider. Spider died, Ethan. Oh, I didn't watch it. But you got one thing right. Everyone is wondering what happened next. The first movie wasn't satisfying enough. America needs a sequel. Who would watch that? And then 3 years later, we can make a live-action version. Now you're speaking my language, Ethan. Everyone else, you're fired. For some reason, movie producers and showrunners think that kids are stupid and don't know what good content is. They probably think that as long as a kid's show is a cartoon and it's moving, they'll love it. Well, here's the truth, Hollywood. The cartoons don't have to move, but you do need to write likable characters and a plot that actually makes sense. The only people who know what kids like these days are YouTubers. Am I right, fellow youths? Hashtag let Pokemon go to the polls. I thought I had pretty low standards as a kid, but sometimes I'd be watching a show and even I'd think, this is weird. Why does this need to exist? Why are the animals singing? One of my favorite shows growing up was Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, because I'm an adult, I bought and framed 3 Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And dang it, these cards are too small to even fit in the frame. I don't even know why I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! So much. It was basically just anime characters playing the exact same card game over and over. Yu-Gi-Oh! Would be losing, he would give a speech about friendship or the heart of the cards, and then he would draw the Yu-Gi-Oh! Must win card. And most of the time, he wouldn't even play by the rules. And then rinse and repeat that formula for 200 more episodes and 4 spin-offs, and you got yourself a successful anime. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the first sign that gaming channels were going to be a thing. Kids just love watching other people play games, because they suck at them. Okay, enough about Japanese cartoons. If Yu-Gi-Oh! Was able to keep my hyperactive attention span engaged, then what TV shows did I think were weird even as a kid? Keep in mind that these opinions are coming from someone who thought the Star Wars prequels were good. So, he said take it with a grain of salt. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. To be fair, I've
show, so I never watched it. Then the show got rebooted, and everyone on the internet was saying how much they used to love the original. And all I could think was, man, if only I wasn't a sexist baby. Do you guys remember Zaboomafoo? Zaboomafoo was the show on PBS Kids where a lemur and these two brothers named the Krat brothers would teach kids all about wild animals. I always thought that the two brothers were named the Krat brothers, and I only just learned their real names right now. I looked up how to spell Zaboomafoo. Also, they have a website, and it looks like this. Anyway, one of the episodes was all about eggs. The Krat brothers talk all about the different kinds of eggs animals lay, and then the lemur asks, "What's a fish?" And then one of the Krat brothers just appears in a giant egg and says, "It's pretty squishy and gooey in here." And he brought up pizza with him. Pizza! I watched that episode as a kid and had two questions. One, how do you get inside the egg? And two, what laid? The more I thought about it, the weirder I felt. This is how fetishes start, PBS. Can you believe my brother is inside this egg? Now, when I think back to movies I thought were weird as a kid, the first thing that comes to mind were those freaking American mouse tail ones. They're about these mice trying to immigrate to America. Good luck doing a 2017 reboot. Also, I have to talk about all those bad Disney sequels. They're all bad. Don't tell me, oh, I thought The Little Mermaid 2 was all right. No, they're all bad. My least favorite one was The Hunchback of Notre Dame 2. I remember one time I watched both movies back to back, and just having seen the first movie and then seeing the opening scene in the second one, I thought, what is this? This should be called The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I know those Disney sequels were just an easy way for Hollywood to make money, but think about how much more money they could have made if they just made good sequels. There was this one movie called Quest for Him, and as a kid, I liked this movie. It wasn't on my top 10, but it was alright. There was this one griffin who I thought looked cool and had a funny voice. However, there's one part of the movie, and if you've already seen this movie, you probably know what I'm going to talk about, where a two-headed dragon sings a song about wanting to be separated from the other dragon. There's a lot of things wrong with this song. I don't want to go too in-depth, but at one part they dress up as Cher and Elvis for some reason, except kids who watch this are too young to know or care about these people, and any adults watching this with their kids are just thinking, this song. Keep in mind that it takes a team of people to animate something like this. This song had to go through multiple, well-paid professional songwriter people, and they all had to look at the scripts and go, yeah, this is definitely a good idea. The last movie that I suppressed was Charlotte's Web 2, Wilbur's Great Adventure. I don't think enough people are talking about this movie. I thought the first one was a classic story about a pig and sheep's death because a nerd spider took pity on him. Also, I just want to talk about this one scene in the first movie where Wilbur found out the farmers were going to kill him, so he started crying, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I know this pig isn't even real, but that scene was the closest thing to turning me vegan. The sequel is exactly what you'd expect from a sequel made 30 years after the original to be. They did change the character design a lot. I guess all these celebrities are still doing plastic surgery. Look what they made Charlotte look like in the sequel. The reason I bring up this movie is because of a scene towards the end. So this one character just can't fit in with all the other characters. He's a black sheep. Literally, they made him a black sheep. He was doomed to be an outcast from the start. And then a fox has a musical number, attacks the farm, and then goes after the black sheep, but he doesn't kill and eat the black sheep right there, no, no, no. Instead, he kidnaps, or sheep-naps, the sheep and takes him to an abandoned house, as any fox would do. And then, I don't know if I'm interpreting this the wrong way, but watching this scene, I was picking up some creepy, non-advertiser-friendly vibes. The fox is basically telling the sheep, oh yeah, I'm gonna eat ya. I'm gonna eat ya. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put you in my mouth. Just eat him already. Stop licking your lips. Look what he does with his tail. And tell me you're not picking up some sexual tension. There's even a part where the sheep started to run away, but then the fox dragged him back down. Where do you think you're going, sheep boy? Perfect bites only.
Looks so good.
We hit the jackpot. It's creamy, it has clean ingredients.
There's nothing artificial in it.
One of my favorite ways is taking anything straight from the jungle.
Do we think I have enough?
The culture is absolutely the best. Straight up goodness.
This is your side to go eat some good culture.
seduce their meals before they board them.
James, you said you were going to make a teacher's part 2. I didn't subscribe to fake news.
I know. Don't worry, I'll do that next video. But right now we're doing this. So my friend Your Movie Sucks, great channel, over 500,000 subs, asked me and a bunch of other YouTubers if we could talk about a movie that scared us as a kid. Now, growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies. I remember one time my parents were watching a movie downstairs, and I went down to see what all the noises were about, and my mom said, "Oh no, honey, you can't watch this, it's too scary." And then years later, I learned that the movie they were watching was Jurassic Park. I think I could have handled it, Mom. I don't know if you can tell by the length of this video, but it's going to be pretty different than the videos that I usually post. But I think it's good to try out new things, and hopefully we'll have a fun time listening to me talk about this movie, because folks, I'm excited to share with you the movie that traumatized me most as a kid. And that movie is, drumroll please, you already heard the title, The Dark Crystal. Okay, so The Dark Crystal came out in 1982, 14 years before I was even born. This movie was made for a whole different generation of people, but somehow I still saw it. I don't remember how I saw it. My family didn't own it on VHS, and I forget how old I was exactly. Let's say for the sake of this video, I saw this movie when I was 17. Because that's legally still a child. This movie was directed by Frank Oz and freaking Jim Henson. Jim Henson is the creator of, I don't know if you've heard of this, but The Muppets. You might have seen them before. There's no denying that Jim Henson was a very talented man when it came to puppets, and the work he did on The Dark Crystal is amazing. As much as I'm about to talk this movie down, it's honestly a work of art. The most enjoyment I got rewatching it was just the artistic appreciation of the character design, the scenery, the costumes, and most importantly, the puppetry. Some of the puppetry was amazing, like this show. How did they do that without CGI? And did I mention that there's no people in this film? Except for full body shots, then they just used a real person dressed up and had them not face the camera. But as I rewatched The Dark Crystal, I realized the movie was kinda garbage. So instead of talking about the parts of the movie that scared me as a child, I'm going to be talking about why this movie was pretty bad. So now this video just turned into one of those bad movie review videos. But honestly, I like watching other people talk about bad movies like The Room and Birdemic and what was that other one? I can't quite put my paw on it. For this video, I ended up doing some research, something I don't normally do for videos, and oh man, is this rabbit hole deep. Jim Henson had a bunch of ideas for the world of The Dark Crystal, but wasn't able to fit all of his ideas into 90 minutes of film. And because he didn't explain the rules of the world well enough, the movie suffered. It felt unfinished and unstarted. Basically, the movie didn't leave you wanting more, it just left you thinking, wait, what? Some of you might be thinking, well, James, it's just a kid's movie. Kids are dumb. Why are you vandalizing a kid's Brian Crowd, one of the head artists of the movie, even said that when we finished the film, we knew that we had only seen a fragment of this other world. Bad fragment, I guess. So even the creators of this movie felt that they left
Planning
out
for
a
your
lot of
family's
stuff.
future?
So in
Put it in the right
2012,
hands with
a
LegalZoom.
comic book was published to be as a
It's
prequel
too
to the
important
movie,
to let it fall
and I
into the
bought and
wrong
read all
hands.
3 of them. And I will say that they did do a better
LegalZoom
job
is the
explaining
simple,
the world
affordable
that Jim Henson
online
had in
solution
mind,
for
but you
estate
shouldn't have to read a book
If
before
you need
see
a will or
movie.
trust, LegalZoom guides you through every step to ensure your loved ones and assets are protected. So if you need a legal hand, visit LegalZoom.
This is Jen, the main
LegalZoom
character,
provides
by the
access
way.
to independent
Get used to
attorneys
looking
and
at this guy's
self-service tools.
face.
LegalZoom
I've
is not
done
a law
so
firm
much
and does not
digging
provide
and
legal
research
advice.
into this world that I'm
What does
completely
a $7
desensitized by
big
how
deal
weird
meal
this
get
puppet
you at
looks. If you
Sonic?
think this puppet
The real
looks creepy,
question
you should have
is,
seen some of his
what
earlier
doesn't
designs.
it get you?
Be thankful
For
this
just
much better
$7, you
than
score a
So in this
classic
scene,
Sonic
Jenna's trying to figure
cheeseburger,
out which
medium
of the
fries or
crystal shards
tots,
is
a
the right
medium
one to
drink,
use for his
plus
quest.
premium chicken
What do we
bites.
do to find
That's
the
a
right
full
one?
meal, then
Right,
some.
places
Only
to
thing
look,
it doesn't
and the
get you is a
right
bigger
shirt needs to
dashboard to
glow.
hold your $7
Wouldn't you do that
spread.
too if you were in the same
But that's what cup
situation?
holders are
This movie
for.
doesn't explain
Enjoy a
why
full
the
meal
crystal
plus
likes
premium
music.
chicken
That
bites
doesn't
for
come up
just
later.
$7.
It just
Live
happens.
free,
That's
eat
basically
Sonic.
this
Tax
whole
not included.
movie.
Exclusions
Things
apply. Limited time
happening
only at participating
slowly.
Sonic drive-ins.
So here we go, children.
You
Hold
say
my
you'll
hand
never
as I
join
take
the
you on a
Navy,
magical journey.
never
Not
live on a
too magical
submarine,
that it doesn't make
or
sense.
power a
That
ship
is
with nuclear
Dark
energy.
Crystal.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy. Saying never actually is. Learn why at Navy.com.
It starts with the
America's
narrator
Navy,
telling us that there's
forged
this world
by the sea.
and that it's dying. By the way, this world is named Thra. They don't mention it once in the movie, but in the prequels and in the Wikipedia article, they all called it Thra. Thra is dying because this one crystal, this one, cracked. How? I don't know. I mean, I do know because I read the prequels. But this movie doesn't tell us. Are you still with me? Good. We're not even a minute in. Because this crystal cracked, 2 new species were born. The cruel Skeksis, the bad guys, and the gentle Mystics, the good guys. And both species are dying. Now, I'm no biologist, but I think they're probably dying because there's no woman. That would wipe out the species pretty quickly, I think. Instead of having women, the Skeksis use the crystal to make them young again. Maybe. It's either the crystal or the sun. This movie makes up so many words. Just try and keep up.
And the journey must begin.
Okay, that's a little pretentious movie. Alright, let's tone it down a little. Then we see that the Emperor Skeksis is dying. Oh no. And then we get the second scariest scene in the whole movie. Yeah, we're not even 15 minutes in and we're at the part that gave me nightmares. Red the Mystic, that's basically Jen's dad, is also dying. And he tells Jen that he needs to find the cracked piece of the crystal, the shard, and then he just needs to plop that sucker back in the crystal where it belongs. And then boom, boom, the world is saved. Again, they don't explain why doing this would save the world. Like, they could have at least tried to make something up, like once the crystal is fixed, women will appear. Jen's dad tells him to
Follow the greater sun for a day to the home of Okra.
Now, I'm no astronomer, but I think following the sun for a day would just make you go in a circle. What am I supposed to do when it's noon? Now, the Skeksis, they're like, oh, well, dang it, guys. Who's going to be our new emperor? This Skeksis named Chamberlain.
It's time to make my move.
Who is my second favorite character in this whole movie, thinks that he should be emperor. I mean, who wouldn't want to be emperor like 8 other bird monsters? The way that you can remember that this Skeksis is Chamberlain is that every time he's on camera, he says this.
I'm on lunch.
I gotta make a call.
I'll be in my office.
Just built in.
Protein calculator.
Trax, he still owes for the group lunch.
No one seems to care.
I just created my own tracking system. We did the same thing, didn't we?
Yep.
Did this thing manage contact with Arts and Quiet? I want to end me this scrappy.
Profesor de Español in inter-office dating app.
For dogs. Office dogs.
Hey man, you can't be emperor, says the Skeksis. Oh yeah? Fight me for it, replied Chamberlain. Since these two are puppets and don't have lower bodies, they can't actually fight each other, which is super disappointing. So instead, the two have a competition to see who can hit a rock the hardest. So that's how you tell who's fit to lead. You can't have someone be your emperor when they can't even hit a rock that hard. Anyway, Chamberlain loses, and all the other Skeksis banish him and rip up his clothes. Okay, now hold on. Do you see what's funny about this screenshot? This Skeksis is wearing glasses, meaning in this universe optometrists exist, and this Skeksis had to go through an eye exam to get his prescription. Do you like number 1 or number 2? Does anyone else think that's funny? No? Alright. Anyway, after the Skeksis banish Chamberlain, they see in the crystal that there's this gelfling just walking around. Man, I didn't know the crystal could snitch like that. So they send out these crab monsters to get him. And by the way, those crab monsters are called Garthams, and they are created by this handsome Skeksis. You'd know that if you read the Wikipedia article. Anyway, back to Jen. What's he up to?
I'm ready to go alone. All right? Alone.
Took you long enough. Jen is supposed to follow the sun to Agura's house. Agura's? He runs into her and she's this old hag who tells him that the 3 suns are going to line up soon, and when that happens, the world might end. Or it will begin. She doesn't know. I know because I've already seen this movie. She also, for some reason, has a box of crystals. One of them is the shard that Jen is looking for, but she doesn't know which.
Which one is it?
Don't know. So Jen narrows down the box of crystals to 3 shards.
It's one of these 3, I'm sure.
What? No, you've never even seen the dark crystal. How do you know it's one of those? Whatever. Okay, I can roll with this. Then, if you remember, Jen gets the idea to play his flute at the shard, and then the correct shard just glows for some reason. Why does the crystal react to flute music? That's not a thing. Crystals don't have ears. Now, when you create a fantasy world, entirely sure, but I don't think that's supposed to happen.
What's happening? We're dream fasting, sharing our memories.
I'm having a bath.
Okay, three things. First, this seems like a plot devicey way to just throw in some backstory, but whatever. Second, Jen, you just found out that you're not the last of your species, and when you realize that you're sharing memories with her, you decide to show this person you just met you having a bath. I mean, I guess she did show you her mom dying, so let's just get all that personal stuff out of the way. And third, somewhere on Earth, there exists a baby naked Jen pup, and I need to have it. Then we're introduced to my third favorite character, Kira's dog, Fizzcube. He doesn't really add anything to the story, he's just that lovable pet/side character. Hey, that's a lot like my dog. Also, Kira can talk to animals. Okay, then we're treated to this really great scene. A whole 2 minutes of the Skeksis eating. But honestly though, I kinda love this scene. It does a great job creeping me out. Okay, it does go on for a minute too long, but bear with me here. The Skeksis' clothing and silverware are Victorian, so it gives off a haunted mansion sort of vibe. And just the character design and the way the Skeksis are eating, it just comes off as unnerving. A lot of movies' scary parts are jump scares or gore. At least I think they do that. I'm not allowed to watch the scary movies. But this is such a different way to unease an audience. It kind of reminds me of the first half of a Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video. Nothing necessarily scary is happening, but it's still able to make the audience feel uncomfortable. Basically, the whole point of this scene was that the crab people were like, hey, we got this old hag, but we didn't get the Gilflin. And then the Skeksis were like, wow, okay, release the crystal bats.
Crystal bats fly!
This summer, the honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich and pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. I found girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
The right window treatments change everything. Your sleep, your privacy, the way every room looks and feels. At Blinds.com, we've spent 30 years making it surprisingly simple to get exactly what your home needs. We've covered over 25 million windows and have 50,000 five-star reviews to prove we deliver. Whether you DIY it or want a pro to handle everything from measure to install, we have you covered. Real design professionals, free samples, zero pressure. Right now, get up to 50% off with minimum purchase, plus get a free professional measure at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions apply.
BetterHelp is the world's leading online therapy service, now with insurance options available in Texas, and average copays of just $23 per session for eligible members. Whether you're feeling overwhelmed or just looking for extra support, therapy can give you the tools to keep stress from building. BetterHelp works with more than 125 health plans, making low or no-cost sessions with insurance an easy way to get started. See why millions of people use BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com. Cost and coverage may vary by plan.
Say no to this lovable guy. He just got kicked out of the Skeksis Club. He's all alone. He just saved you from some crab monsters, and he did say please a lot. I'm just saying, if I was Jen, I totally would have trusted Chamberlain 100%. But instead, Jen just stares at him blankly, and then Kira ruins everything and tells Jen not to trust him, and then they run away.
Wait! Please make peace!
Marco's uses premium toppings, which means your pizza isn't just flavorful, it's mushroom full or sausage full or pepperoni full. And you can get unlimited medium one-topping pizzas from the place named America's favorite pizza chain, starting at $8.99 every day, only at Marco's.
That might have been the right call. So then, for some reason, Kira knows where the castle is, and since she can talk to animals, she calls up these things called landstriders. They're just a person walking on four stilts. They ride the landstriders all the way to the castle. I have a lot of problems with this next scene. So one of the Skeksis takes a podling that they just captured, locks it into a chair, and tells the podling that they're going to suck its essence away and make it a slave.
worst was that the podling was tied down to the chair and he was just so helpless and his whole face melted off and just... But now that I'm older, all I can think is, what do you guys need slaves for? So far, the only thing slaves have done was pull on a rope to make some swords appear out of the ground and bring you guys a plate of food. Why is there such a high demand for slaves that you need to make new ones? What do you guys even do all day? Then Kira and Jen arrive at the castle. We see the crab people taking in the pod people from Kira's village. They try and save the podlings, but completely fail. The Landstriders die immediately. Jen and Kira open the cage that the podlings are in, and the two get cornered. And what are they going to do, you ask? Well, isn't it obvious? They're going to jump and slowly float down to safety because Kira has wings. That never came up in the memory sharing bit. So I guess when the Skeksis told the crystal bats to search for the Gelflings in the sky, they weren't that far off. Hey, Kira, sorry we left your whole family back there. Totally didn't save them, like, at all. We're probably going to get turned into slaves now. Okay, we're almost done, everyone. We're getting to climax town. Jen and Kira sneak into the castle. Chamberlain's there. He basically murders Jen. Since he captured a Gelfling, he's not an outcast anymore. You guys should have just went with him the first time. Them two Landstriders were dead. Kira goes into the slave room, and as a kid, I was already so traumatized the first time seeing a podling get turned into a slave, and now seeing Kira getting her essence taken away, I lost my mind. Oh shoot! Kira's getting turned into a slave! Luckily, remember the old hag of Kira? She's like, yo, you can talk to animals, just ask them to help you. Oh, okay. She breaks free, the animals push the Skeksis that was in the room down this pit, and that kills them. Leading up to this point, it's hinted that the Skeksis and the Mystics are like connected. When something happens to a Skeksis, there's a Mystic counterpart that experiences the same thing. So when this Skeksis died, there was a Mystic just walking around that just... and none of the other Mystics react. Yeah, it happens. Then we see that the Mystics can control the crab monsters. I'm guessing it's because they're connected to the Skeksis who also can control the crab monsters. So having a Mystic go with Jen on his journey in the first place would have been super helpful back when Kira's village was getting raided. Alright, let's just wrap this up. Fizzgig dies, Jen's not really dead. He finds the Dark Crystal, jumps to it, and then drops the shard. Kira has to throw the shard back to Jen, but while she's doing that, she gets murdered. I said spoiler warning, right? And then Jen plops that sucker back into the crystal. The castle crumbles around everyone, and the world is saved. But first, the Skeksis and the Mystics walk into each other because they're connected, remember? They become one again, and are you ready for this? They walk into each other, and they turn into tree aliens. I'm not even joking. According to the prequels, these things are actually aliens. This is what the whole movie has been building up to. The bad guys are just one half of a schizophrenic alien tree person, and if you read the prequels, you know that. Is this supposed to be a plot twist? Because to me, it just seems like a plot that's doing whatever it wants. So much weird, unexplained stuff has already happened in this movie, so at this point, I don't even care. By the way, Kira and Fizzgig don't actually die. This is a kid's movie after all, and then the world is saved even though there's only like 3 people who inhabit it now. The end. So that was the movie. Want to know something funny? I've already used more words in this video than there were words in the entire movie. Also, I need to ask, Jen was supposedly the chosen one.
At this time, Jen is the chosen one.
But I would make the argument that Kira should have been the chosen one. Let me go down my list. She saved Jen from the mud. She sniped a crystal bat out of the sky. When the crab monsters attacked, she had to tell Jen to run. She found the shard on the ground after Jen threw it. She tells Jen not to trust Chamberlain. She knew where the castle was and got the Landstriders to take them there. She used her wings to float Jen down to safety. She was able to get out of being turned into a slave by herself. And she threw the shard back to Jen after his butterfingers dropped it. And how does she get rewarded? By getting stabbed. All Jen did was play his flute at a magic rock. This guy's a doofus. Who chose Jen to be the chosen one? Bad choice. Now, I've said who my second and third favorite character in this movie is, but who's my favorite character? There's only like 3 other characters to choose from, so who would it be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, my favorite character.
Today, in testing these different size Arctic Ocean life coolers side by side, figure out exactly how size affects ice cream. Another day has come and gone. It is another hot one. Okay, here we go on the as you saw, you're truly getting excellent bang for your buck with an Arctic ultralight.
Isn't in this movie. My favorite character of the Dark Crystal universe is Rayunit, Agura's son. Okay, I know I just finished the movie, but let me talk about the prequel comics for a minute. Remember Agura, the old lady? Well, turns out she's an immortal being and has been around since the creation of this world. Alright, and one day a meteor hits the planet, and she, like anyone else would do, gives life to it. And out pops Rayunit. He's basically the main character of the prequel books, and he's also technically an alien. I like him because he's the only one who questions what's going on. He asks the same questions I'm asking. So he's my favorite. He's the only character I ever wanted to cosplay. If they ever make the prequels into a movie, I call dibs, I'm playing Rayunit. That's how it works. I call dibs, I'm playing this character. I just show up to auditions and I'm like, I actually called dibs, so... Also, in the second book, Agura and her son are having a moment, and Rayunit says, "Will you remember me, mother? After all the harm I caused? I will never forget you, child." Well, you didn't really seem to remember him in the movie. Also, if there's any producers watching, that was my audition just now to play Rayunit. Would I recommend you watch The Dark Crystal? Well, I did just spoil the whole thing, so no, it would be a waste of time at this point. But if I was talking to someone who hasn't watched this video, then yeah, I would recommend it. Even with all of its flaws, I still think it's a creative film, and I don't know, maybe it'd be fun to talk about it afterwards. Maybe I was desensitized doing all this research, but I also enjoyed the prequel comic books. After all, my favorite characters in there. There's also a manga that was made, Legends of the Dark Crystal, and it's supposed to take place in between these books and the movie. So these books don't even bridge the gap between the start of the... It leaves still on a cliffhanger. These books still leave on a cliffhanger. Speaking of manga, there were plans to make a sequel to The Dark Crystal, another movie, but the film ended up getting canceled. But a 12-part comic series is being produced by Boom Studios, and it's not even completed yet. They're only on like the second installment. This is recent, you guys, so now is a great time to get into the Dark Crystal fandom. Like I said, I think The Dark Crystal is a creative story. Jim Henson really bit off more than he could chew making this movie, but seeing how many comics have been made to tell this story, maybe The Dark Crystal is told better through comics and not with the limitations of puppets from the 80s. Anyway, that's just what I thought about it. Imagine if Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu never existed. What would you be watching right now? Would you be watching this? I don't think so. You'd be watching this box right now. On this device, instead of picking what you wanted to watch and when you wanted to watch it, the television would decide all that for you. And instead of watching a single 5-second skippable ad in the beginning, you'd have to watch 5 30-second long unskippable ads. Can you think of anything more annoying than advertisement right in the middle of your show? I don't know if my parents are being cheap or trying to discourage an unhealthy habit of watching too much TV, but growing up, my parents didn't have cable television at all in the house. Now, in this modern day and age of online content, some of you are living perfectly content lives without cable. I know I am. But you have to understand, in the early 2000s, online video wasn't a thing. Yeah, YouTube was created in 2005, but what did that have? This guy at a zoo? That's lame. So being an early 2000s kid, you had to get your cartoons through the TV. And if your parents didn't pay $65 a month to get cable, then you could hit the channels with SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, or Courage the Cowardly Dog. The only thing you got was this green brother and sister called PBS Kids. And whatever these things were. PBS Kids stands for Public Broadcasting Service. Kids. That meant all the shows on PBS Kids were government or privately funded. So the shows on PBS didn't really have any commercials per se, but they did have the same sponsorship ads that would play a message before every show. If you grew up on PBS Kids, then Juicy Juice and Where a Kid Can Be a Kid is just engraved in your memory.
Jimmy
And
Dean
also,
Brand
every
is cooking
show
up
would
something
thank
new.
you, the viewer, for
Introducing the
watching,
all-new
and I
Jimmy
think
Dean
that's really
Protein
nice.
Breakfast.
So,
Bowls,
everyone watching
sandwiches,
this?
and waffles, packed with
You're
20 to
welcome.
40 grams of
I'm kind
protein
glad
per
my
serving.
parents didn't buy
Made with
cable,
premium
because
ingredients,
instead of spending
loaded
hours of
with
my time
flavor,
watching
and
mindless
ready in
television,
minutes.
I
The
spent
kind of
hours of my
breakfast
time
that'll have you
watching
feeling brand
television
new.
with
The all-new
more.
Jimmy Dean Protein Breakfast.
And math.
Visit
Yep, a lot of shows on
jimmydean.com to
PBS
find
were either
products near you.
educational or taught you how to be a good person. The shows I'm gonna mention had pretty crazy
NetCredit is here to
concepts,
say yes
but the
to a personal
conflicts in
loan or
each
line of
episode were
credit
very
when other
down-to-earth
lenders
and
say no.
slice-of-lifey, almost
Apply
like
in
shows
minutes
are
and
made
get a
for
decision
children,
as soon
like
as the
in
same
Cliff
day.
the Big
If
Red
approved,
Dog.
applications are
It's a
typically
show
funded
about
the
this
next
girl's
business day
dog
or
who
sooner.
grew up to be the
Loans
size
offered
of a
by
freaking
NetCredit or
house
lending partner
for
banks and
no
serviced by
reason,
NetCredit
except for the
applications
fact that
subject to
the girl
review and
loved the
approval.
dog
Learn
so
more at
much that he grew up to be a
netcredit.com/partners.
monster. So that
NetCredit.
means if
Credit
your
to the
dog
people.
is normal-sized, you don't
Have
love
you
it
ever
enough.
had so many tabs open that your
probably doesn't
computer
love you.
starts slowing down?
yeah, a giant
Life can
red
feel like
dog
that
is a
too.
pretty weird
BetterHelp's
premise. The episodes
2026
were
State
about
of Stigma
everyday
report
things, like
found that
this little dog feels
74%
bad
of
that he tore
Americans
his owner's
believe
sweater,
society
and his
still
friends tell him to
discourages
just be
asking for
honest,
help.
and he does, and
Therapy can
everyone's
help you
happy.
sort
Or the
through what's
episode where this
taking
new
up
dog
space
moves
and
into town,
quietly
but
affecting
he's
you.
missing
With
a leg.
BetterHelp,
And then
connect with a
Clifford and his
licensed
friends have to
therapist
learn that
online
having
and
3
switch
legs still
anytime.
means you can
Maybe it's time to
accomplish a lot of
close a few
things any
tabs.
normal
Visit
human can do.
betterhelp.com/Spotify music to get started.
40% off classroom decor at Hobby Lobby. Create a classroom that brings joy and creativity for every student, every day. Shop 40% off classroom decor at Hobby Lobby.
When it comes to beautiful hair, why are we always showing the same thing? Where's my balance? My camera. My fire. All hair is beautiful. These Dove shampoo and conditioners are custom formulated for different hair types. Find the right Dove care for your hair.
Good dog. And I rate this show a 10 out of 10. Next is Dragon Tales, the show that made dragons kid-friendly. There's Porky's the biggest, not so brave of heart. There's Cassie, she's so shy but so very smart. There's Zach and Wheezy and their tales of fun. 'Cause you know two heads are better than one. Dragon Tales, it's almost time for dragons. The show is pretty similar to Clifford. Characters would spend an episode learning everyday things like how to do a cartwheel, or they would try to make it rain so they could show their friend what a rainbow looks like. And there was also this grandpa dragon who knew Spanish for some reason. And that wasn't the weirdest thing on the show, actually. There was also a dragon character in a wheelchair, which, just like Clifford, is a good character because it teaches kids that disabled people are still people who can accomplish a lot of things. But I think it's a weird combination of two things. A dragon, a mythical beast known for destroying cities, in a wheelchair. If you wanted to stop a dragon from destroying your city, then you just don't install wheelchair ramps anywhere. I should stop talking. I rate the show a 10 out of 10. Now let's talk about Arthur. Here's some fun trivia. Arthur is supposed to be an aardvark. Personally, I don't see it. Basically, it was a show about Arthur and his other furry friends learning lessons, but Arthur tended to tackle more serious subjects than the other two shows. Like, they have episodes where DW hears her parents get in a fight and she worries about them getting a divorce, or the episode where Arthur Falcon punches his little sister, and even having to deal with someone you know getting cancer.
What? Cancer?
The character gets treatment and lives, by the way, because it's a kid's show. 10 out of 10. Next, let's talk about my favorite show on PBS Kids, Cyber Chase. Cyber Chase, we're moving. We're beating the hacker in this game. Don't tell me every time. The show didn't teach kids morals or how to properly treat the disabled. It taught them something far more important. Math. Cyber Chase is set inside a virtual computer world, and this one character named Motherboard was supposed to be the queen/protector of this world, but she sucks at her job because the villain of the show, Christopher Lloyd, infects her with a virus. So his way. Even in his theme song, he mentions how much of a brat he is. Growing up is not so tough, except when I've had enough. And then he's crying like a child. Well, you're gonna have to grow up, Caillou. The world doesn't revolve around you. Now you might be thinking, James, this kid is 4 years old. Of course he's gonna be a brat. And I agree, but a big problem with Caillou isn't the fact that he's a brat, but it's with his spineless parents. Caillou's mom just lets him get away with everything. Whenever I misbehave, you know what happened to me? I had to go sit in the timeout corner. You know what happens to Caillou? Nothing. Not once does Caillou ever get punished. It's always his mom just being like, Caillou, that wasn't very nice. Now behave, okay? 0 out of 10 with the show with just the humans. I hate it. I just realized that all the shows I mentioned were animated, but there was a lot of non-animated shows that I still watched. But whatever, I could just say that these shows fit the theme of my channel. Or I can make a part 2, I can do whatever I want. Now, as a die-hard PBS fanboy, I think I speak for everyone when I say that what PBS was missing was a crossover episode. How hard would it have been for the Clifford people and the Dragon Tales people to coordinate an episode where the three-legged dog finds the dragon scale, he can dig it up out of the sand because dogs like to dig. Except this dog wouldn't be that good at digging. And then he would meet up with the wheelchair dragon and they could be best friends. I would have loved that. As much as I'm joking about it, as a kid, I actually really wanted a crossover episode between the shows Clifford and Clifford's Puppy Days, which is another show that follows Clifford before he was interesting, when he was tiny, so before Emily Elizabeth loved him. So there was a bunch of new characters that all knew Clifford when he was little, and the two shows existed in the same universe, so it wouldn't have been that unbelievable for Clifford to visit his childhood home. Then all the other characters who used to call him small or squirt would see him now and be like, wow, what the fuck happened to you? You see, it's funny because it's a kid's show. I wouldn't expect him to say that. I waited patiently for that crossover episode, but it never came.
CC's Pizza is all you can eat, all for $9.99. That's not all. If you don't see your favorite pizza, learn to make it. Trust me, I know a guy.
I got it too.
All of us, all for $9.99. CC's, the best pizza value anywhere.
Hello?
Hey, what's up, man?
Just getting a 15-minute oil change service and some free top-offs here at Jiffy Lube.
Dude, I'm at Jiffy Lube. What are the chances?
Pretty good. We came together. An in-and-out oil change, in or out of your car, Jiffy does it. Jiffy Lube.
But at least I have fan fiction. George, he wagged his tail and smiled. Clifford, it's so good to see you. He nuzzled him as a greeting. Nice to see you too. It's been over 7 years since I last saw you. Yeah, it had, Clifford said happily. George turned his back to the hill. Here I come. With no quotation marks. He got ready to tackle him. He punched George off, and they rolled down. Then, when they got to the bottom, George pinned Clifford, who was panting. The three looked at the two of them, who seemed to be having a staring contest, so they decided to go convey somewhere else. Both laughed when Clifford got off of him. He sat down and waited for George to stand up. So, what are we gonna do? The red dog said while quickly getting into a playing position. Okay, that's enough. I think that everyone at some point in their life should work in a fast food or retail job. Not to improve their work ethic or anything, but so that everyone knows what it's like to have that kind of job. They wouldn't work in fast food their whole lives, maybe just like for 6 months, just so they get a feel for it. So with that, let's talk about the time when I worked in fast food. I used to work at a very small local sandwich shop. I don't know if any of you guys heard of it. It's called SUBCRIBE. Our spokesperson was in the news recently. I don't know if you guys look at the news. Did you hear he got beat up in jail? I kind of want to meet the person who beat up Jared more than Jared. Not in person. We wouldn't meet in person, obviously. But like, he would be behind bars, and I would just look at the guy who beat up my spokesperson. How many people can say that they beat up a fast food icon who is also a pedophile? Only one, and it's that guy. Okay, but seriously, guys, working at Subway is probably one of the most easiest jobs out there. I don't know how to complain about it to you guys. We got free cookies, and you know the comic with the Subways in Hell? I was actually working at Subway when I made that comic. I just think it adds sort of a little bit of value to it. You see, the owners, who are husband and wife, can you believe it, of the Subway I worked at owned 2 stores. One of the Subway stores was in a Walmart on an Indian reservation, because we have those in Arizona, and the other Subway was a Subway I worked at. And since the Walmart store was always busy, the owners would spend 99% of the time at
shift, and at the end of the night, we would turn the alarm and we'd have 60 seconds to get out of the store. But one time I had the opening shift, so I unlocked the door to get in with my key, and the alarm went meaning I had 60 seconds to turn it off. No big deal, right? I've turned the alarm on all the time when I was closing. So I go to the little control panel and I type in the code. Nothing happens. The beeping is still there and the clock is still ticking down. So I go, okay, I'm going to press each button very carefully. I'm going to make sure each button makes a beep when I press it. Nothing still happens. So I go, okay, I'm going to make sure to press each button very carefully. And I start thinking, did they change the passcode without telling me? This is the only passcode I know, so I'm just going to try it again. And I press each button very carefully. It goes quick. And then the alarm goes off. I still had like 20 seconds left. But I guess when you get it wrong 3 times, it automatically assumes you're a burglar. So while the alarm's going off, I look on the contact sheet for the owner's cell phone number. I step outside, I call him, he doesn't pick up. So I go back inside, find the number for the other Subway store. They open an hour before we do. Someone picks up with their stupid voice. Oh, thank you for calling Subway. I'm blah, 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 blah. How may I help you? And I go, hey, is Mike there? He smells really nasty. And they go, just a minute. Yeah, sure, I have all the time in the world. The cops might be on their way, but take your time. So Mike picks up. Hello. Hey, Mike, this is James. What's the passcode for the alarm? Who is this? It's James. What's the passcode? What are you doing there, James? Why aren't you answering the question? I have the opening shift. Is the alarm going off? Yeah, no one told me the new code. Yeah, we changed it. It's the last 4 digits of your social security number. Oh, okay, thanks, Mike. I don't know my social security number. So I finally get the alarm off. No one showed up, thankfully. Which I actually don't know if that's a good thing or not, now that I say it out loud. We did have a store manager who would like make the schedule and sometimes tell us,
Hey y'all, this is
can you
Post
guys do
Malone.
a better job at
Back in '86, Stevie
job?
Ray
But other
Vaughan
than that,
inspired
she was
Texans
cool.
to
She
take
watches my
pride in
videos,
ending
and so do our
roadside
little
litter.
brothers, they're big fans. Shout
That
out to
spirit
Ivan
lives
and
on.
Andy. Those are the brothers.
Let's
So
keep
get
it
this,
going
at
and do
Subway,
our
you
part
only
to
work
keep
with
Texas
one
looking
other
its best.
person. Just you and them in an
I'm proud to
empty
take
Subway
part
for
in
5
keeping
hours.
Texas roads
we
free
weren't,
from
like, empty
trash.
all the time.
Because don't
Okay?
mess with
And when you're not
Texas
making
stands for one
sandwiches, you
thing:
have other stuff to do,
keeping our
like
state
stocking
litter free.
chips or
Let's keep it up.
we had stuff to do.
Brought to you
Okay, we
by
did
the
watch a
Texas
lot of
Department of
Netflix and do homework,
Transportation.
so, I mean, it was that other
With
person
Canada
you
Dry
work
Ginger
with
Ale,
would make
dry
or
time
break
is your
entire
time and
shift.
your time
It wasn't the
alone.
annoying
Here's a
customers.
guided
I kinda
meditation
got
to help
used
you
to
enjoy it.
So I
Grab
worked
your
with a lot of
Canada
crappy
Dry,
people. And I
open
also
it,
worked with a lot of
take a
people who
sip,
I would
let go of your screaming kids and say hello to your favorite chair. Take another sip. Park yourself in front of that guilty pleasure show. Savor the sip. Rest in the sip. Laundry Mountain will be there tomorrow, but the sunset won't. Dry time is my time with Canada Dry Ginger Ale, also in 0 sugar.
Hi, I'm Luke LaManna, Marine Corps reconnaissance veteran and the creator and host of Wartime Stories, a weekly series where we explore the strangest, darkest, and most mysterious stories that have come out of war and military service. I'm here to remind you to watch my show on Spotify, and if you're subscribed to Spotify Premium, you don't get any Spotify ads on my
He
videos.
actually taught me what vaping was, and he got me into Clash of Clans. I actually mentioned him and his girlfriend in my Riddles video. I don't know if I ever told you that. And of course, I have to mention Corey. He was cool. We watched How to Get Away with Murder on Netflix, and I've also hung out with him outside of work. What him and Tyler had in common was that they would actually do their job, which you gotta appreciate. Then there was this guy. Get this. Who was also named Jared. He loved marble, and that's like the only thing he would talk about. I can say these things. He doesn't watch my videos. There was Sarah. She was cool. She made me a Red Bull. And her boyfriend Jay. We talked about chakras, third eyes. He was interesting. And also, there's Anthony. He's cool. What's up, Anthony? With 100,000 sprinkles video, I actually went back to Subway to use their scale because I knew they had one. And we counted 500 sprinkles again just to be more accurate for the 100,000. And Anthony helped me count. So, I mean, at least he got paid minimum wage for it. So 2 more stories before I go. One time, Jared asked me to take out this pile of trash. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just put this pile of trash in the dumpster. And as I was taking it out, I saw that there was a chip poster in the pile. And I thought, this is too cool to throw away. I'm gonna keep it. So I took it home with me. And then the next day when I went in, people were saying, oh, where's the chip poster? We can't find the chip poster. We haven't seen it anywhere. And I'm thinking, I have the poster. burned the paper a little on the edges. That probably shouldn't be happening. So then a customer asks for just bacon toasted, and the boss lady puts some bacon on paper and then puts it in the toaster. And we don't have a setting for just bacon. So then when she opens the toaster, there was a fire on the bacon. So then she starts to whack it with the little metal tray thing, but all she ended up doing was fanning the flames, making the fire bigger. You got this, right? Then I went in the back and I got the fire extinguisher and I actually used it. I single-handedly saved that subway. What have I done? Is it okay if the bacon's a little crispy? It has nitrogen and carbon dioxide stuff on it.
Mommy, why do humans hate us?
I don't know, Matthew. Our species is completely harmless to them. We keep the mosquito population down, and we're responsible for killing more humans every year than other humans do.
So humans have no rational reason to fear us, but they still do.
I'm afraid humans are that smart. Sleep tight. Don't let your bed humans go.
Love you, Mommy.
I love you.
Okay, fine. In the shower, you see a spider crawling in your leg before you recover. Then that's an appropriate time to freak out. But other than that, spiders are most likely not going to hurt you. Their webs are too weak to trap you. They don't know how to open doors, and there's only like a 50% chance that they're venomous. Okay, unless you live in Australia, the chances of you dying by a spider bite is pretty low. There are venomous spiders, yes, and if you're having a negative reaction to a spider bite, you should get treatment. But a large percentage of spiders are harmless. Even the black widow, known as the most venomous spider in North America, won't kill you if you're a healthy adult. Their bite will be painful for a couple of days, sure, but like, you'll walk it off.
That was a joke. If you're bitten by a black widow spider, then don't walk it off. Go see a doctor.
And hey, if you're lucky enough, you'll get superpowers. So wait, the two most dangerous spiders in North America are the brown recluse and the black widow? What are you trying to say about dangerous colors in America? Oh wait, the great white shark's even more dangerous. Never mind. Technically, sharks are like the second least dangerous animal out there besides puppies. It's like, I mean like if you were to fight a spider and a shark, the shark would win. Also, spiders kill pests. According to this comic I made in 2014 in this National Geographic article, a single spider can eat about 2,000 insects a year. So if you're not a fan of flies, moths, or mosquitoes, which incidentally kills 600,000 people a year, then you're on Team Spider, because they're also not fans of them. Well, they are fans of them, but they are fans because they eat them. I'm not saying you have to be roommates with the raccoons. I'm just saying that if you see a spider, don't put it through torture continuously smashing it with a blunt object. It's still moving, it's still moving. Instead, get a cup and carefully place it over a spider. They're really dumb, so doing this will be super easy. Then scoop up your new best friend with a piece of paper and yeet it back into the wild with the rest of God's glorious creatures. Yeah, actually, there's a high chance that they won't make it being thrown into a completely different environment. But they should have thought of that before they decided to live in my house. Even though a spider has 8 eyes, they have terrible eyesight. So that spider that landed on your face did not do it intentionally. Some spiders that live in caves are completely blind. They don't even have 1 eye. But even if they did have eyes, their whole world would still be pitch black. What a sad life to be a part of. Just every time you're outside seeing the sun, just think that somewhere there's a colony of spiders just in pure blackness, just never seeing the sun, never seeing their children smile or graduate college, just sitting in a cave all their life. So is nature. That is the way this cookie crumbles. Also, we're forgetting the most amazing thing about spiders, which is that they're incredibly talented in web design. Proportionately, the silk that makes up a spider web is stronger than the fibers that make up a bone
soft dorm essentials at Hobby Lobby.
So, what do you do for a living? I harmlessly immobilize spiders with thumbtacks and pull silk out of their abdomen to add to my ever-increasing collection. What about you? Oh, I, make YouTube videos. I see people with arachnophobia being irrationally afraid of these harmless little guys, and I just don't see the sense of fearing something that ultimately does good things for the ecosystem. But you know what we should be afraid of? Bees! Bees are terrifying! Look, they're sucking the blood out of this guy to make honey! Oh, they're dying at an alarming rate? Good! Okay, that was a joke. Bees are, without a doubt, the most important insect on this planet. Not only do they have the best work ethic of any living thing on Earth, which is why none of them are YouTubers, they also pollinate 30% of the world's crops. Don't ask me who pollinates the rest, because I don't know. Without bees, humanity would turn to pure anarchy. Bees are so important that world-famous comedian Jerry Seinfeld made a documentary about the life of a bee and what the world would be like without them. But ever since 2006, bees, just like all the memes say, have been dying at an alarming rate. The scary thing is that scientists don't know exactly the reason for this bee apocalypse, but they think it has to do with meat pesticides being used on farms, parasites that kill the bee, and global warming. So once we figure out how to fix those three problems, we'll be in good shape. Like that, whatever. Now, what can you, a concerned citizen, do to stop the dropping population of bees? Most likely nothing, because I don't think anyone watching this makes laws about pesticides or stopping global warming. So we just gotta sit back and hope the people who make those laws know the importance of bees. But maybe you should plant a couple flowers just to be on the safe side. The reason I have a fear of bees is that I've gotten stung by a bee not 3 times, not 4 times, but 2 times. Two times. Now, obviously, as I've grown, I see the importance of bees, and I know not to throw rocks at them. The first time I got stung, I was outside, and I guess I was playing too close to a beehive, because I got stung on my arm, and I cried a lot. The second time I was in my
Parenting doesn't take the
backyard
summer off.
barefoot,
When
and I was
things feel
walking
overwhelming,
around,
the Texas
and you know
Parent
how
Helpline is
sometimes
here
when
for
you're
you.
about to do
Get
something
free,
and your
confidential
brain
parenting
realizes that
support.
you're about to
Call or
make a
text
mistake, but your
24/7
body is
at
already committed to the motion, and you don't have enough time to stop yourself.
1-833-680-0611.
So I
You're
was in the
not in
middle
it
of taking
alone.
a step, and I saw
With
that I
Canada
was
Dry
about to
Ginger
step on
Ale,
a bee,
dry time
so I
is
thought I
your
was gonna
time
have
and
the
your time
reaction time
alone.
of the
Here's a guided
motorcycles to avoid
meditation
the
to help
step,
you enjoy it.
and
Grab your Canada Dry, open it, take a sip, let go of your screaming kids and say hello to your favorite chair. Take another sip. Park yourself in front of that guilty pleasure show. Savor the sip. Rest in the sip. Laundry Mountain will be there tomorrow, but the sunset won't. Dry time is my time with Canada Dry Ginger Ale, also in zero sugar.
A summer fling, a friendship-altering secret, and so much change. Can bravery bring June what she really wants, even if it's love? Find out in You Wouldn't Dare by Samantha Markham. This young adult romantic comedy called perfect for fans of Gilmore Girls is everything we love about growing up. It's filled with firsts, secrets, surprises, change of hearts, and so much more. Listen to the audiobook now on Spotify.
Advertising on Spotify is easy. You just write a script, pick your background music, then let us create your ad for free. It's that easy. Learn more at ads.spotify.com.
Crap about wasps. So, what did we learn? Hey man, have you ever noticed that we wear the exact same clothes every day? We don't wear any clothes. What if we're both just a cartoon character? That's why our clothing's the same. That's impossible. Cartoon characters' mouths move. Just open our mouths and words start
only.
It's creamy, it has clean ingredients.
There's nothing artificial in it.
One of my favorite ways is literally eating it straight from the cup.
Do we think I have enough? Good culture is absolutely the best. Just straight up goodness.
This is your sign to go get some good culture cottage cheese. Actually, come on session 2.
I'm a meaty. My parents taught me the value of hard work by making me pay for all my clothes. And I am 100% on board with that parenting technique. I think even the super, super rich parents should still make their kids buy their own clothes. Because if you just buy your child anything they want, then they're going to turn into a-holes who just expect everything without having to work hard. Those are the types of kids who grow up to flex all their money on people and who leave their basketball cards all over the cramped dorm. And also, buying your own clothes makes you think harder about what you're going to spend your precious dollars on. You don't want to waste your money, so you have to pick clothes you really like. Except my mom told me I couldn't buy anything with skulls on them. She said they were too edgy. And you know what? Fair enough, Mom. Looking back, I'm glad I skipped that emo edgy phase. But why didn't you let me express my true self, Mom? Thank you. In the 7th grade, I went through an I need to look cool phase. And one time, I saved up quite a bit of money, so me and my mom went on a shopping spree at Kohl's. Hashtag not sponsored. I was going to impress everyone. I was going to look so cool with my brand new 2 pairs of jeans. I'll get this normal blue pair, and then the exact same pair, just in case I spill ketchup on the first pair. That's another reason why I'm pro have your kids pay for their own clothes. So that way they learn how expensive clothes shopping is. Seriously, 2 pairs of jeans was $70. Do you know how many Pokemon cards I could have bought? Probably enough to make my own pair of Poke Pants. And that's when I learned about the magical land of Goodwill. At Goodwill, you could buy mediocre, questionably stained-looking jeans for 1/4 of the price of Kohl's. And since I had to buy all my clothes and I was unemployed, I was at Goodwill every other Saturday for that half-off deal. You're at Goodwill and everything's half off. That's like a double sale, people. Here's the thing. Typically, clothes stores have a certain style they specialize in. Tilly's, you know you're going to get that hip LA style clothes. At Old Navy, you know you're going to get that white boy Ohio look. At H&M, you know you're going to get demonetized. But when you step inside your local Goodwill, you don't know what you're getting. You get every style of clothing all in one place. I got my favorite t-shirt from Goodwill. I even wore it to this panel at VidCon. You know, the panel where I didn't even talk into the microphone, so you couldn't hear half the words I said.
Ah, but James, I don't want to wear clothes that have already been worn by other people. They're gross. Cuties. Herpes.
Yeah, no, that's true. You don't know who else has worn your clothes. But then again, you could be wearing something that was also worn by the other ones. Yeah, that's right. I donate my clothes to Goodwill. Reduce, reuse, recycle, baby. Why would someone make a pair of pants out of Pokemon cards and give it away? I'm not saying don't buy expensive clothing. Buy whatever you want to buy and can afford. If there's 2 shirts, one is $40 and one is $5, and you really, really like the $40 shirt and hate the $5 one, you should get the $40 shirt because you'll end up wearing it more often, so you get more use out of it. In economics, there's a term used to measure how much happiness a product can give you, and it's called utils. Sometimes buying more expensive things will give you more utils of happiness, so it's worth it to buy expensive clothing. But for me, I get way more utils buying a shirt for $5. You cannot put a price on all the oodles and oodles of utils I get for wearing a shirt I like for $5. You can wear your Supremes and your Abercrombos or whatever all you want. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense spending that much money on a white t-shirt with an ironed-on logo. There's no material in that shirt that makes it as expensive as it is. Never mind. What you're really doing is paying for the name. So you might as well staple 2 $20 bills to your shirt and write in Sharpie, "Look everyone, I got $40. But again, if you like the design of a white shirt and a red rectangle, you be happy wearing it. I'm not telling you what to wear, but I will tell you this. Don't judge someone based on their clothing. That's like the most shallow thing a person can do. Even if someone is wearing old hand-me-downs or a really expensive name brand t-shirt, don't treat people differently because of their clothing. There's a certain YouTuber going around, I'm not going to say any names, but I will draw pictures, whose
teaching kids that their value as a person is correlated to the amount of money they spend on clothing. Don't do that. Okay, real talk over now. School uniforms! People who support school uniforms say that uniforms are better because then the students don't have to think about what they're going to wear the next day because everyone has to wear the same outfit. Like, I already don't think about what I'm wearing. That's probably why I'm naked right now. Okay, that's not entirely true. I'm not just gonna walk outside wearing a, I don't know, a pink poncho. I have standards. I just buy all the cheap clothing I think looks nice. In high school, I mostly wore solid color v-neck t-shirts, and one time a kid on the very last day of school told me, "James, you always wear solid color v-neck t-shirts. You're like a cartoon character." That's what I'm going for. I've always wanted to be a cartoon. I don't think you realize how much I love cartoons. One time I bought those shoes with the really fat tongues. I thought they looked cool, but they certainly didn't feel cool. They didn't have any support for my soul. I couldn't go running in them, so what was even the point? And apparently you're not supposed to tie the laces of those shoes. I'm not sure. Someone just told me.
15 minutes will change service. Really impressive. I changed it. Far? 1 minute drive. I'm still in the process of the oil change.
A fast, easy oil change for your best car bud? Jiffy does. Jiffy Lube.
Hey man, you know you're not supposed to tie the laces of those shoes, right? So I had to bury the laces inside my shoe, and I was constantly stepping on the sharp aglets. And all the cool kids saw my shoes and said, "Hey James, those are some pretty fat tongues you got there. You wanna come sit at our lunch table?" And I said, "No, being cool sucks." So now I wear tennis shoes everywhere. Some of you watching are in 7th or 8th grade right now, and you might be going through your own I need to look cool phase. And I just wanna say to you little youngins, you don't need to impress or prove yourself to anyone. Wear whatever makes you happy and that you can afford. And you still have to follow the school's dress code, which is a whole other can of worms. I'm not encouraging anyone to break the rules, okay? All I'm saying is, at the end of the day, what really matters is that you're in 7th grade. Nothing you do will make you cool. I'm sorry, everyone regrets 7th grade, okay? Just start putting on deodorant, do the homework, you'll get through this. You know, I've realized something. If I keep making videos about my life stories, then soon I'll run out of life to talk about. Which is why sometimes I'll agree to do a thing just so I can make a video about it later. Perks of being a YouTuber. So my mom is friends with this junior high school teacher. Kudos to any junior high school teachers watching. It amazes me that anyone would be okay sitting in a room with 27th graders and not even getting paid that much to do it. My mom was talking to her like moms do, and I guess I came up in conversation. And my mom told her that I wanted to be a math teacher, but then I became a YouTuber instead. So my mom's friend, I'll just make up a fake name for her. I'll just call her Mom's Friend. Mom's Friend comes up to me and says, "Hey, would you be interested in helping tutor some 7th and 8th graders?" Ew. I think the only reason she chose me was because 1, I'm good at math, duh, and 2, I'd be good with kids or something. I told her I'd do it because 7th and 8th graders are the worst kinds of people. Unless you watch my videos, then you're cool. I'll finally get to live my half-hearted dream of teaching kids math. Now, I didn't make this video to talk about math, okay? That's boring. Before I even started tutoring these kids, Mom's Friend asked if I wanted to chaperone on a field trip so I can get to know them. Okay, 7th and 8th graders are between the ages 11 and 13, aka
that's true.
Boring trash bags feel like the end of summer. But Glad's pink cherry blossom scented bags carry that summer feeling to the new school year. Whether you use the fresh scent to trap old science project smells,
Look, Mommy, the plate's all fuzzy now.
or the vibrant pink color for closet cleanouts before college.
Okay, why is the donation bag cuter than my actual clothes?
Glad cherry blossom trash bags get you back to school ready in style. Don't get mad at boring trash bags. Get Glad cherry blossom. Shop now at Target.
See my stuff. Nope. So I just sat in silence and played on my phone.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I left the pizza box on top of my car before driving home. Not smart. Oh, and a semi just turned my deep dish into a thin crust.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What's up, dudes? We're Matt and Abby, and we host the Unplanned Podcast.
We're young and in love and have two goofy toddlers, and every week we sit down and chat about marriage, parenting,
And the stuff you're probably thinking but don't want to say out
we
loud.
talk to incredible guests who are also managing these big life transitions.
Celebrities like Taylor Lautner, Olympian Shawn Johnson, TLC's Ginger Duggar,
And experts like Dr. Mike and self-help legend Tony Robbins.
It's casual, it's real, it's unplanned.
So if you're looking for candid, thoughtful conversations that aren't afraid to go deep, just search Spotify for Unplanned. We'll see you there.
Said Rice Gum. Ugh, ew. Here's actually the story of how I met Rice Gum. So I was at VidCon, and all of a sudden a huge crowd of people just goes running by. And I said, "Who's that?" And someone else said, "Rice Gum." And then I said, "Oh, who's that?" And I didn't really meet him. My friend Gabe did, though. So we were given a tour of this college, and it was actually kind of interesting because it was the college that I would have attended if I wasn't trying to save money. It was fun seeing what could have been. There were other junior highs doing tours at the same time, so we crossed paths with this preparatory school. I'm guessing it was a preparatory school because they were wearing uniforms. And this one kid in the other group just pointed to me saying, "The other one's out! The other one's out!" over and over, and I just said, "Hey," back to him. And that was it. We just kept walking. No pictures or high fives. Man, why couldn't have that kid been in my group? Preparatory kids are so much cooler. So we do the tour, and I was in the back not talking to anyone. We ate lunch, and there was actually a kid in my group who did know me. His name was Connor. I think he was too shy to talk to me at first. Thanks, Connor. Where were you when I asked your peers what they wanted to be when they grew up? But he was cool. We ate lunch. The field trip was almost over, and I kept thinking, man, I did not connect with those kids like at all. Like they were only 7th and 8th graders. It's not like they were beautiful. Hey kids, I have 1.8 million subs on YouTube. It was tacky to use my sub count to get validated by these children, but after I said that,
Save big on select home decor at Hobby Lobby. With pieces that make it colorful, comfortable, and stylish. A small space can still feel like home. Save on select home decor at Hobby Lobby.
everyone loved me. I think I made a good connection with them. And okay, all the kids I tutored that were failing math, 90% of the time they weren't failing because they didn't understand the material. They were failing because they were missing assignments. So alright, I'm about to tutor everyone watching this video. And this goes for you college folks too. Kids, turn in your work. Even if it's late, it's better. Alright, listen, so we're not gonna do it in time for this video. Christmas, but then we're going to send the special ones later, so you'll get 2 cards if you ordered special instructions. Also, another important announcement is I'm going to be taking a Christmas break. I've been working non-stop on videos since VidCon, so I am desperately for a break. I'm still going to be posting comics and maybe some other non-animated video if I can, but this is the only animated video this month, Mr. Beast's 100K YouTuber Battle Royale. This is going to be quite a long video, so some of the drawings are going to be done by other people. I'm going to be recording this on different microphones, so sorry if I sound different. I'm not that sorry, I don't care. And I want to tell the story in its entirety. I don't want to cut anything out or split it into videos, because the story I'm talking about is free up on Mr. Beast's channel, so what's the point of making people wait for a conclusion when you can just go and see what happened? If you've already seen Mr. Beast's video, which a lot of you probably have, then this story has already been spoiled for you, and you know how it's going to turn out, but you should still stick around because I'm going to go into detail about the events that led up to the big fight and sprinkle in just a healthy amount of embellishment. And if you live under a rock and don't know what I'm talking about or who this Mr. Beast character is, then pull up a chair and let me explain Studios, because this is going to be quite the This is Mr. Beast, a 20-year-old YouTuber that after a couple of years of making cringy Minecraft intro compilations and how much money does X YouTuber make, he started uploading some unique challenge videos. But they weren't your normal challenge videos you see on YouTube, like the Cinnamon Challenge or the In My Feelings Challenge. He challenged his endurance by making videos like reading the dictionary in one sitting or counting to 200,000 to 1 million. Then he started one-upping his challenges by making some big and questionable financial decisions, like buying 100 T-Rex costumes or literally giving out tens of thousands of dollars to people. His videos got insanely popular, which meant he earned more money, which meant he could spend even bigger quantities of money on videos and in turn get more views because of how crazy they were. And then he got more money, and the cycle just continued, making him one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube. In 2015, he celebrated his 7K subscriber milestone, and in 2019, he's got over 16 million subscribers. The dude's been blowing up. And about a year ago, I sent him a Twitter DM saying, where do you buy so many things in bulk? Like, random example, sprinkles. Because I needed to know. I just wanted to know who his supplier was, because Walmart abandoned me. We ended up chatting on Discord for a bit, and he told me that the reason he makes videos is to entertain people. And with the amount of money he's giving away, and the fact that he's probably losing money on some of these videos, it's obvious that he's not making these videos for the money. And I respect it. Also in the call, he told me he was playing Fortnite, and I said that my favorite video game is Tetris, and he said, yeah, you seem like the kind of person that would like Tetris. What's that supposed to mean, beast? Well, who's laughing now? Tetris is the best battle royale game out there. Tetris 99. Download it for free on the Switch today. They don't sponsor me. So that's who Mr. Beast is for the 6 people watching who didn't know. Fast forward to February 2019. I'm at VidCon London. Me and Dave from Boy in a Band were getting ready to perform Life is Fun in front of a bunch of UK blokes, and I was browsing Twitter and I saw this tweet from the Beast himself. Attention Epic Gamers. On March 6th, I'm hosting an in-real-life YouTuber battle royale with airsoft guns. Wait, that says real. I'm just gonna use a computer voice.
Winner gets $100,000. It will be in a layout similar to Doom Effects' video, which BTW I really enjoyed. Reply Fury out of modern.
The tweet was only sent 10 minutes ago. It was pretty fresh. And looking through my pocket calendar, I wasn't doing anything that day. I could make it to the event. I asked Dave, do you think I should do it? I forgot what he said, but he probably said something like,
Oh yeah, man, you'd be so great at it. When did you get so handsome? You're the best.
So I replied to the tweet.
Get glasses in a blink, so you never miss a moment. Find your local store and save on glasses today. What is WOW? It's innovation in chemistry helped unlock what's always been there, the power of your smile. Colgate Optic White Proof Series delivers 5 times whiter teeth after 1 day. That's routine made remarkable. Colgate Optic White, the science of WOW.
I can make it. Then I got added to a group chat with 6 other YouTubers, so I wrote, hello competition. And the very next thing I saw was Mr. Beast added Logan Paul. And my mind went, Logan Paul? YouTuber's #1 storytime animator Logan Paul recently came out as a flat earther Logan Paul? That Logan Paul? But then Logan Paul left because he's a coward. So in the group chat, Mr. Beast explained the rules. It would be an airsoft battle and everyone would have 3 balloons attached to them. And once your 3 balloons got popped, you were out. This match wasn't going to be a free-for-all like the Hunger Games. We were going to be on teams of 3. So I was going to get paired up with 2 random people. I mean, I would have preferred if one of them had been a Paul boy, but
sent Want Her In.
And I was like, oh, yeah, she did do that. I probably didn't have to send you her channel. So Jayden never publicly said she was going to be in the fight, but she was. Surprise! Mr. Beast sent us a list of people that still needed to be on a team. Since it was only me and Jayden, I gotta pick someone from the list to be the third member of our team. It made me feel like the popular kids when they gotta pick teams for kickball. First time I got to feel that experience, actually. I noticed one name on the list, Anthony Padilla. I've been to conventions and I've seen how young some of you are, so I gotta explain who Anthony is. Just bear with me, big kids. Before some of you were born, there was this big YouTube channel called Smosh. And when I was 12, that was one of the YouTube channels that I watched. So imagine how gleeful I was when a big part of my childhood asked me to do a couple of videos with him to go up on his channel. Since Anthony and I had already done 2 videos together, Andy's done one with Jayden, Andy met my dog, I thought we were close enough to have him on the team. Also, 2 of the 3 people on our team are vegan, so we decided to name ourselves 66% vegan. That's actually not true, I made that up. The day was fast approaching, and I'm gonna level with you. We did not have high hopes for winning. Anthony tweeted out,
Tomorrow I'll be in Mr. Beast's 100K YouTube Battle Royale with my teammates, the Odd Ones Out and Jayden Animation. Between us, we see a total of 3 hours of sunlight a week. Please send us words of encouragement and support.
everyone in the group chat was hyping up how good they were at shooting guns and how seriously they were gonna take this. Meanwhile, between the 3 of us, we played a total of 2 Fortnite games and a lot of Tetris. We showed up to the arena and I barely knew anyone. Keemstar was there for some reason. I don't know if Keemstar likes me though. At first, I wasn't too worried about getting hurt because people were literally aiming for our balloons, not our bodies. But when I saw the gear, the balloons were just about right over our heads. So everyone was gonna have to William Tell our balloons up. No big deal. None of us really hit our heads anyway. No big deal. Before the main fight, there were a couple of practice rounds that were happening on a smaller field. And during the practice round, our team went into this little fort. Anthony's gun wasn't working. Jayden didn't know how to put the magazine in, and I didn't know how to aim. As soon as we left the fort, all of our balloons got obliterated.
Oh, baby, a triple! Oh, yeah!
Like
Planning
I said,
for your family's
we didn't
future?
have high hopes.
Put it in the
Whenever
right
I go
hands
to an
with
event,
LegalZoom.
The question I get asked a lot is, "Will
It's
you make a
too
video
important
about
to let
this?"
it fall
And
into the
every time
wrong
my answer
hands.
is always, if something
LegalZoom
interesting
is the
happens.
simple,
Look,
affordable
I'm sorry,
online
kid.
solution
I'm not
for
just
estate
gonna make a
planning.
video like,
If
"Hey
you need a
guys,
will
I
or
went to this
trust,
school and taught these
LegalZoom
kids about
guides you
being a
through
YouTuber,
every
and
step to
everyone was
ensure your
well-behaved
loved
and
ones
super
and
nice."
assets are protected. So if
Anyway,
you need
that's
a
my
legal
joke for this
hand,
video. Be
visit
sure to check out the
LegalZoom.
video where I went to Australia and
LegalZoom
spent
provides
close to
access
2
to
hours.
independent attorneys
So
and
I asked
self-service
Jayden,
tools.
"You gonna
LegalZoom
make
is
a
not a
video
law
about
firm and does
this?"
not provide
She
legal
said,
advice.
Probably not.
Chipotle
If you
honey
want to,
chicken
you
is
can.
back at
I said,
Chipotle. Step into
yeah,
summer with fresh
only if
grilled
something
chicken,
interesting
spicy
happens,
chipotle
though.
peppers,
Jayden,
and the perfect
just wanna
touch of
say,
pure honey.
thank you
Chipotle
so
honey
much.
chicken. It's taking
After the
heat and
practice
sweet
round,
to
our
a
team
whole
sat at a
new
lunch
level.
table by
Back for a limited
ourselves
time.
because
Order now in the
we didn't have
Chipotle
any
app for
friends.
pickup or
And
delivery.
Jayden and Anthony talked to each
At
other about
Kroger,
being
saving more on
vegan, and I
gas
ate my
means
chicken
more
as
left
close
over
to
for
as
everything
sweet as
else you love.
possible.
And if you're driving home from work right now, here's something worth knowing. Every time you shop at Kroger, you earn points you can use to save at the pump. You can save up to $35 on your next fill-up. That's more gas in your tank and more budget left over for the fresh food that matters most to your family. Redeem your points to save on fuel today. Kroger. Texas proud since 1955.
Lose horrifically, I'd be happy. So
That is fire! Whoa, that's good. This might be the drink of the summer. Okay, I like this one too. I'm rocking with it, okay?
Try it for yourself. Starbucks Refreshers concentrates are coming home. Find them in the coffee aisle and make it yours. Tap the banner to learn more.
Some people took 14-hour flights from Australia to get here, so they had a fun time. The match was about to start, and our team got dark green balloons, and we saw another team that had lime green balloons. We talked to the other green team, which consisted of What's Inside, His Son Lincoln, and Casper Lee. We joked with them like, hey, green balloons, since no one can tell us apart, maybe we should team up. Okay, see you later. The way the match played out was interesting. We didn't get to choose where we started. The map was split up into 13 different zones. Before the match started, someone on the team would pick a number out of a hat, whichever number you got,
Jaden and I will get the close gun. You go get that medium gun. And cover me while I get the far gun.
Then an air horn blasted in the distance, and the game began. I ran to the medium distance gun, quickly snatched it, and ran back to where the group was. Jaden had her gun, but Anthony was empty-handed.
Someone already grabbed the far gun,
he said, and the team that grabbed it was the white team. It didn't take long for them to start sending BBs our way. There wasn't a structure we could hide in, and Anthony had no way of fighting back.
Dude, I don't have a gun, so I'm like...
The white team pushed us into a corner of the map, and a chain link fence stopped us from entering any further. Looks like we're not going to make it in the top 10 after all, Phoenix. But then we saw the team on our right, and it was none other than the blind right. With very little options, we walked up to them with our hands in the air like we just don't care, hoping that they remembered the very unofficial agreement that we had between us greens. And fortunately, they took pity on us. They let us walk past them without shooting us, and they gave Anthony a crappy handgun. We all agreed, okay, let's not shoot each other. We later found a better gun for Anthony, and we also found a pretty good hiding spot that let us shoot at other teams, while also keeping our precious balloons covered. Every 7 minutes, the refs would close off part of the map, making it smaller, forcing the teams to get closer to each other, just like the Hunger Games. But in the meantime, we were perfectly fine waiting in our hiding spot for the 7 minutes to go.
Would you rather eat a whole pack of cigarettes or eat a whole pack of cigarettes or sit in dumpster over there? No, it's full of garbage. Protein. Alright, I think we gotta make some noise. So we're just gonna be doing nothing.
And then after the 7 minutes, the map shrunk, and we and the lime green team got a little closer together, and once inside asked one of the refs, hey, is it okay if we team up? The ref said, I don't know, I just work here. So cool, we teamed up. It was funny because we still didn't completely trust each other. One time we moved locations, and Casper told Duncan, you go in front and I'll be in the back, so if they try to shoot you, I can get them. We shot at other players, they shot back. Lime green team lost some balloons, but I still had all 3 of mine. The map kept getting smaller and smaller, and one of the staff told us that we had to be behind this line of caution tape. But when I bent down to go under the tape, my 3 balloons got caught, and I was stuck. I think other people were shooting at me. Shoot! My balloon's stuck! But one of the workers saw my helpless self and decided to free me from his trap, and surprisingly, none of my balloons popped.
Turn that way. Turn there.
What the frick? Are these things made out of metal? Casper and Lincoln unfortunately weren't as lucky. All their balloons bit the dust. Our team and what's inside moved into a bunker. Anthony had 1 balloon left, Jaden had 2, and I still had all 3 of mine. I got hit in the head, back, had contusions, and fractured my neck, but that's not important. The only thing that's important is that I still had all 3 of my balloons. Oh, we found out what was inside. What's inside was a last one. It was helium. He was standing in the bunker with us. Any one of our balloons could have been death contained. Our lime green brethren were out. Look what's inside my hands. They're bullets. I want you to have them. And also, what's inside my heart is my faith in you guys. Avenge me. We had gotten shot at a bunch of times, yet somehow we were still in the game. The amount of teams that were left were getting small. Someone was shooting at us from our old hiding spot, and Anthony knew that there was an opening on the side he could use for a surprise attack. So Anthony stealthily walked out of the bunker and flanked the other team. And at that moment, I thought of how cool it was that someone I had been watching for 10 years was one of my teammates. I remember voting for what food he was going to use back in Food Battle 2009. He's one of the pioneers of YouTube. He inspired countless young creators like me to start making videos. Did you know in Jake Paul's book, You Gotta Want It, Jake actually credits Smosh for inspiring him and his brother to make videos as well. Anthony! Was that the person who killed all of us in the training ground?
Yeah. I forgot this isn't a video game. When you shoot someone's last balloon, they can still shoot you before they realize they're out. Man, this whole belief system seems kind of flawed. We have to keep asking people, do I still have balloons?
we still here? Just to suffer? Every night I can feel my leg, my arm, even my fingers, the body I've lost, the comrades I've lost. Won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? I'm gonna make them pay.
Did we? Is that it?
Jane wanted me to tell you that it sounds like she's crying here, but she wasn't crying, and she doesn't cry. And then the second game happened, but no one cares about that one. And that's how Team 66% Vegan won $100,000. Splitting it 3 ways, we each got $33,333.33. But then we had 1 penny left, so we decided to donate it to charity. Okay, but for real, I do plan on doing something with the prize money, but that is another story for another time. Because this video is getting way too long and I just want to be done with it. Actually, can you leave some suggestions about what I should do? Because I'm not entirely sure what I should do.
Summer is here, and Kroger is your destination for hot savings. Find unique items at low prices with our exclusive brands. Fire up the grill with cookout classics like burgers, and don't forget delicious produce like fresh melons. Treat yourself to summer's sweetest lineup with Kroger Brand's limited edition All-American Ice Cream Collection. Whatever your summer plans, Kroger makes it easy to enjoy high-quality food at affordable prices. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Now, you might think that since I'm making a part 2 of this, I must get recognized a whole lot, like I'm some sort of celebrity or something. No. What actually happens is that I'm awkward, and I don't want to speak for everyone, but chances are you're awkward too. So when I do get recognized, we're both being awkward, together, and that stuff makes for great videos. Once you get to my level of YouTube fame, whenever I go out in public, I always have a thought in the back of my mind, I wonder if any of these people have seen any sprinkles over my shirtless body. I especially get worried when I see my target demographic in public. Little boys. This might be paranoia or anxiety, but I swear, sometimes little boys stare at me for an uncomfortable amount of time, and I'm just trying my best not to make eye contact. You know, I don't really have any defining physical characteristics that make me stand out. As of right now, little boys have to look at me and think, is that tall, white, dirty, blonde-haired, early 20-year-old beta male that one YouTuber I like, or am I just imagining things? It's funny I call myself the odd ones out when I'm part of, like, no minorities. I mean, I might get nervous around little boys, but when I do get recognized, it's the highlight of my day. So I don't know what I'm worried about. I should just wear a shirt that says, hey, the odd ones out. So one time I went to Walmart and I was buying a bunch of whoopee cushions for my April Fool's video. And as I was walking down the aisle, I saw this little boy at the other end walking towards me and his face just lit up. And I thought, oh, this kid knows. This is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Are you James? Who? And then I walked out. I'm just kidding. I mean, I did say who, but I didn't walk away. I was just messing with the kid. It's probably really weird for that kid to see a YouTuber in Walmart buying nothing but whoopee cushions. So that was fun. This other time, I was buying supplies for my 3 million sprinkle video, and I ended up going to 3 different stores. Hey, do you guys have an inflatable pool? Yeah, what size do you need? Enough to fit 3 million sprinkles. What are you using it for? I need it for a thing. So after I finished my important business errands, I felt a little hungry, so I decided to buy some pre-made food. I worked hard, dang it, I deserve it. And I decided to go eat at Supa's. Supa's is a pretty good restaurant. They have sandwiches and soup, and they give you a chocolate-covered strawberry with every order. I'm telling you this because I want them to sponsor me. I went up to the counter and there was this employee that said, hey man, what's up? And this is going to be a bit of a tangent, but I just want to say that I absolutely love that kind of employee. It's so much better than those fake fast food employees. Do you know the ones I'm talking about? Like every time I pull up to a Chick-fil-A drive-thru, there'll be an employee that will say, it's always a great day at Chick-fil-A. My name is Mackenzie. How may I serve you? And I just want to say, Mackenzie. I came here yesterday and Brian said the exact same thing. I know your manager told you to say that. Look, neither of us want to be here, okay? No one says it's a great day at Chick-fil-A, okay? That's so dumb. So stop lying to me and give me the usual. Like, I would much rather have a fast food employee just say, what do you want? Okay, maybe not that rude, but you get the point. So now there's a random guy who works in Supa's who doesn't even know I put him in a YouTube video, but I like his work ethic. Treat me like a person and not like
Seconds left on the clock. Vaneco passes the ball to Orsi. He slices across the DiGiorno rising crust pizza.
Sandwich wasn't. The girl
The crust is rising to the occasion. The fresh-baked aroma fills the stands. End-to-end signature sauce. Pepperonis are sizzling. Cheese is melting. This is pizza in the making. DiGiorno! Every match calls for DiGiorno. Available at Walmart.
Then she took out a plastic bag and said, "Oh, do you want it in a bag?" And I thought,
Hey, say what's happening, man? It's Tip Harris, host of Expedition. Telling you, man, come on over to Spotify, man, and remember, Spotify subscribers get fewer commercials on my show.
Hey, I mean, who? She said, "Did you come here because of my email?"
What's up, dudes? We're Matt and Abby, and we host the Unplanned Podcast.
We're young and in love and have two goofy toddlers, and every week we sit down and chat about marriage, parenting,
And the stuff you're probably thinking but don't want to say out
we
loud.
talk to incredible guests who are also managing these big life transitions.
Celebrities like Taylor Lautner, Olympian Sean Johnston, TLC's Ginger Duggar,
And experts like Dr. Mike and self-help legend Tony Robbins.
It's casual, it's real, it's unplanned.
So if you're looking for candid, thoughtful conversations that aren't afraid to go deep, just search Spotify for Unplanned.
We'll see you there.
Until I met Carl Sagan 42. I recently got into this game called Mario Maker, which is a game where you can make your own Mario levels and share them with the world via the internet. I wanted to find some Mario Maker Let's Players that were 1, good at the game, and 2, weren't screaming every 10 seconds, which is actually a lot harder to find than you might think. But I went searching and I found these 3 Let's Players who mostly play Mario Maker, and they're alright at the game. I mean, they're only a little better than me. If one of my videos gets delayed, you could probably thank these 3 because I'm watching their videos instead of working. Also, this is going to sound weird, but every morning after I wake up at 12, I pour myself a bowl of cereal and I watch one of their videos. So I start my day off with my Mario Maker videos. Anyway, one of the Let's Players, Carl Sagan 42, was going to Phoenix Comic Con, which was great because I was also going to Phoenix Comic Con. I didn't have a panel or anything, I just went with Jaden and her friends and we just walked around. Comic Con was a lot of fun. I met up with a lot of people and we got recognized at Subway, one of the markers. There was this room where you could play video games and I went up to this one kid playing Super Smash Brothers and I said, "Alright dude, let's do this." And he said, "I feel like I know you from somewhere." Okay. And then I totally wiped the floor with him with Kirby and he was like 12 years old. So I had a fun time at the con, but I also wanted to meet Carl. Now Carl wasn't going to the con because of his Mario Maker skills, but rather he was going because he's actually a scientist who studies vaccines and plants and I just want to talk about that. So on Friday, after doing some stalking on Twitter, I found out that he had a panel at 9 p.m. Yes! Leading up to the panel, I realized that I was getting my information off a tweet and not from the official Comic-Con handbook, so I didn't even know if I was going to the correct panel. I walked into the room Carl said he was having his panel. I saw a group of 5 people sitting on a stage. I didn't see Carl. Guess he's not here. Oh wait, he is here! He's just the only person in cosplay! That's the guy I like! The one in the wig! As I listened to his panel, I kept telling myself that Carl was just a normal person like me. He plays Mario, I make cartoons, I shouldn't be nervous to talk to him. Why am I like this? The panel was great, everyone enjoyed it except for this one woman who I think was anti-vaccine. Once it was done, the panelists stayed around for a couple of minutes and I went up to Carl and I said, "Hey, I really like your Mario Maker streams." And since he talked about vaccines, I showed him this comic I made back in 2014, which I will read now. Hey folks, are you tired of hearing this? Can you believe all the horrible things doctors put in vaccines? There's no way I'm vaccinating my child. Will suffer no longer with the anti-vaccine. The anti-vaccine will stop anyone from thinking vaccines are harmful or cause autism. And then he injects the anti-vaccine into the person and he flops over. Is he okay? No, he's dead. Vaccinate your relatives today. It's dark, yes, but Carl liked it, and he even said that AAV is a name of a virus, so vaccine is actually a virus. Well, actually, vaccines are viruses. The anti-vaccine lady was behind me, and I think she wanted to talk to Carl, so I said, "Okay, I love you, bye," and I left Carl to deal with her. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't say, "Oh, also, Carl, by the way, I have 3 million subscribers on YouTube," because I think that's rude, and I didn't want to flex too hard. I mean, if he did ask about my sub count, I totally would have told him, but I don't know, I just didn't want to brag. I tell you this story because I understand that people might get anxiety talking to someone they look up to. And just because I have more subs than someone doesn't mean I won't get nervous talking to them. Senpais can have senpais too. I wonder who Carl's senpai is. Then 2 days later, I tweeted out to him and he followed me back and we're BFFs now. Now guys, don't embarrass me in front of Carl, okay? Don't just go to his channel and comment, "Who's here because of the odd ones out?" Because no one cares, alright? If you have to comment, "Wow, great video, Carl. You're an awesome person when it comes to Mario. You just jumped right into my heart." And also, you can check out the activities, especially at a young age, not only teaches you important skills, but it also teaches you what your interests are. How are you gonna know if you don't like ballet unless you try it? I've tried it, and now I can say with confidence, ballet's not for me. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's had to deal with parents signing you up for sports, instruments, and more sports. I think when you're really young, you don't realize that you have a choice. Your parents just start taking you to soccer practice every Wednesday, and you think, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. But all the activities I was forced into, while I never got invested in any of them, I'm still glad I did them, you know? I forgot how old I was when my mom signed me up for soccer, but I was little enough for the goals to look like this. I can't tell you how many games I won or how many goals I scored. It was probably close to zero. Because I ultimately didn't care about soccer. The only thing I cared about was getting a treat after every game, because I earned it. I know some kids who really enjoyed playing soccer. I forget which video I mentioned this, but back in the day, there was this kid I knew named Micah. He used to live in the house directly behind mine, and we were on the same little league soccer team. He was really good at soccer, probably better than I'll ever be, and he still plays to this day. Well, okay, it's been 4 years since I last talked to him, but he was still playing soccer to this 4 years ago. Now, did Micah's parents initially force him into playing soccer? Probably, I didn't ask. But if his parents never forced him into it, he would have never known how good he was at the game and how much he enjoyed it. But that's enough about Micah. This is my channel. I don't remember how I stopped playing soccer. I just stopped showing up to the practices 1 year, and I never played again. And then my mom put me into Boy Scouts, and that was a lot better because it wasn't competitive and camping is awesome, and I made some dumb videos about it.
As a part of the American Heart Association, Heart Power carries the torch for heart health. We're championing life-saving policies so more people survive cardiac arrest. We're helping raise nutrition standards for the nearly 30 million children who rely on school lunches. And we support policies that prevent tobacco use and help people quit. We speak up. We act. We are the American Heart Association. Help carry the torch at heartpower.org.
So it was a return investment. Another activity my mom put me in was this martial art class called Aikido. I'm honestly surprised I've gotten 107 videos without mentioning Aikido once. Probably because it was boring and nothing interesting happened. My mom put me